Doesn't know what you feel, let me in. Islam family. Islam, everyone. Oh, happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. I hope everyone is feeling amazing today on this amazing Sunday. The weather's been doing some up and down all day today since I've been up. So it's just amazing to be here, to be alive. We're gonna invite some people in. What's going on? Okay, what's going on? What you think? What's up with you? What's up with you? Just inviting some people in. Um, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But we're gonna talk today. We got some. It's Chop It Up Sundays, y'all. Islam, and I'm gonna open with the Constitution. I really want to open with the Constitution and giving honors and prayer. But this is just really a Sunday to just vibe with one another. I like to call it Chop It Up Sundays. So I try not to keep it so, you know what? We give honors to these words, but I am gonna read them while I'm waiting for my co-host to come in on over here on TikTok. As I wait for her to come in, she'll come in and then I will get started. So, hi everyone. Today we're diving into some powerful lessons about staying true to ourselves and our faith. We're going to talk about how easy it is to get caught up in what other people think. But the truth is, real strength comes from within. It's about knowing who you are. It's about knowing who you are. It's about, let me get this because I had to write this down. I had to type it out so I knew what I was saying. Because sometimes I get so totally off the subject and I'm trying to stay on course and do better at organizing these things, right? Islam. So we're going to talk about how easy it is to get caught up in what other people think. But the truth is, real strength comes from within yourself. It's about knowing who you are and what you believe and not letting anyone shake that. Like, no matter what they say, because people will try to shake it. They'll try to come with negative comments. They'll say things based on what you're doing, how you are, maybe the way you're presenting something. They'll do those things. So you don't let no one shake you. When it's what you believe, you stand on it. We're going to also touch on how important it is to be honest and genuine. Flattery might feel good in the moment, but it doesn't build real connections, you guys. Let's focus on speaking from the heart and building each other up with sincerity. So that's what we are going to speak about today in this Chop It Up Sundays. So I just want to break the ice to kind of give you an idea of what's going to be discussed today and just what we're opening up the floor about. You know what I'm saying? What we're opening up the floor about, Islam. So let me do something really quick. Excuse me for a moment. I'm going to just, let's see. I'm just going to play that for a moment. These just ain't words that I'm spitting. These ain't words that I'm just about to spit. And now when I listen to my music, like favorite songs, I put a more spiritual aspect on it. Like, can I be for real? This is how I feel. I'm in need of love. Let's get up out of here. This is my type of knowledge. Everything's all right. Let's get up out of here. Get up out of here. So we gonna get into this into this today. We're going to get into this today. And as I'm waiting for Sister Shonda to come in, Islam, sister, how are you? As I'm waiting for Sister Shonda to come in, I'm going to go on and read the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. I want to first say all meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Can we stand or may you sit in benediction, just giving honors and praises to our prayer. Islam, we turn to the east is going within. We put up 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right, with our heels touching one another, standing on our square. Repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, I am Islam. So giving honors to our prayer, Islam, and thank you for all that stood in benediction or even just sat in benediction for us today. So I want to first rise giving the most highest holy praises to our Father God, Allah, the Father of the universe, and Mother Allah, the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life that brings justice, mercy, love, and right. Or maybe I should do that again. I want to rise giving the highest praises to the Mother Allah, the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life that brings justice, mercy, love, and right. Rising giving high holy honors to the Father, Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I'm rising giving honors, Islam. I'm rising giving honors to our illustrious and divine Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who brought us these instructions. This is what I love, the instructions that he brought for us. Giving honors to all the divine prophets for all the wonderful works that they have brought into us, whether that's Buddha, Confucius, Muhammad, etc., Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Jesus, etc., etc. We could continue on to giving honors to prophets that have come, whether it's Dr. Malachi York, whether it is Malcolm X, whether we giving honors, we giving honors to all the divine prophets that have come, and we've had many prophets come. Many prophets' lives have been taken away, and prophets are just ones that come to bring the messages to the people. They're a thought of Allah. They're a thought of Allah manifested in flesh. So, with that being said, this is why we're giving honors. We must give honors to all of them. Islam. So, I want to rise giving honors to each and every one of you that are here today for Chop It Up Sundays. As we get started into this conversation or this build with one another, Islam. Islam. I would like to do the recitation to our divine constitution and bylaws. And upon the restitution, I'll go back and explain what this build is going to be based on and what we're talking about today, Islam. So, salvation, Allah, unity, the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 1, the Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce law with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and it was on a Friday that the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Islam. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of the said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time and this is a new era of time, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father God Allah. Islam, Noble Drew Ali is the founder. We're giving honor to that Moorish American prayer. The Moorish Science Temple of America, home office of Noble Drew Ali, Chicago, Illinois, USA. Islam. Now, for the additional laws for Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Salvation, Allah, unity. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh is the governing head of our temple. All business of said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before being acted upon by any member. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the member to sacrifice finance, that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their ADAP meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second case will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is the lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people. And justice must catch you. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while up making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself or herself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. All members must promptly attend their meetings. That's Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father God Allah. Islam. It's very important that we read the laws and the Constitution. Very important, because at this time right now, I just seen a video yesterday where Trump was saying, ask the reporter himself, "Are you a citizen? Are you a citizen? So now, do you really even know how to exercise everything that's for you?" We know we're indigenous to this land. We know we come from these tribes. We know we're indigenous to this whole planet. In essence, every last one of us, anyone that has come from us, whether whatever their skin tone may be, whatever, has still come from this planet. And now, in order to exercise the right to be who you are, can you really stand on who you are at this time? Because the way they say that this thing is going to roll in, this system is going to roll in, just because you share a melanated skin tone don't necessarily mean you in it to win it, because there's still going to be parameters. There's still going to be things there that you got to abide by, things that we need to do as a people to keep our nation at a certain level, to keep our nation thriving at this time, not giving it back and putting it into the hands of someone that will mistreat us again, take advantage of us again. Now we're going to have the opportunity to really stand on our square for what we say, stand on our square for what it's worth. Islam. So that's what we are going to do. So my people, what I want to do is I am waiting for Sister Shonda to come in. And once she come in, we are going to get started on this build. I know she said she was coming in here. I don't know where she is right now, but we're just gonna wait on her. But it's so it's important to know who we are, what we stand for, no matter what, like even as tribal, as indigenous, but it's about your nationality too, because if it all came down to it, they're going to ask you what that is. Will you know how to respond? And in doing the research and going back and knowing America's true essence, will you know how to respond? And what is your nationality? Not responding, what color are you? Or where was you born? Will you really know how to stand on that so that you can exercise what is for you and what's coming for you? There's a lot of wealth coming for the people. But if we don't know how to be good stewards over this, if we're not going to know how to mentally be good with it, it's going to, as quick as it's given, as quick as it's going to be taken away. That's what people fail to realize. And just because you share a melanated skin tone, don't mean that you're in the proper status or proper right of mind to maintain what's going to be given to you. So now we really need to touch on that, and we really need to know what that is. That's why these laws be important, to read this Constitution, to clean up house, to know, because everything needs order, guys. We got to go back to order. The order, we've been out of order for so long. And then we don't want to do what needs to be done in order to put us back in our rightful place. It takes work. You can't get out here and expect everyone to do the work for you, and then you come benefit from what the work that everyone else has put in. You must put in that work also. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be here to uplift humanity. So each one teach one. Each one of us has a position to play. Each one of us has a role to be in as we walk this earth and as we commune with one another. Each one of us has something to do here. So whether you want to or whether you don't want to, and as they're saying, you'll be probably stuck in that 3D notion of yourself if you're not able to rise to the occasion. And it's not to be against anyone. It's not to do any of that. It's not to talk down on no one. None of that. But we have to literally, excuse me, hold on one second. We have to get back to doing what we need to do, though. Oh, come on, thing, paste. Excuse me. I just want to know how y'all feeling today. How is everybody feeling today? Someone did text me and asked me how I was feeling, like what my energy was feeling like at this moment, right? And honestly, I feel amazing today. Even though the weather's kind of iffy outside, the weather outside is frightful. It's a little windy, it's been raining, but at the same time, I'm feeling really amazing today. Like really, really amazing. Give me 1 second, people. Let's see what she said. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Share the live if you can. I appreciate it. Share the live. Hold on 1 second. I need to listen to this message. Yes, indeed. It definitely is some amazing energy today. I'm definitely going to be ready closer to 1. Okay, so my co-host will not be here until 1. So I'll be on here for a minute just vibing with y'all as I wait for her to come in. I'll read into the chapter that I wanted to speak on anyway. I'm going to read into that chapter and speak on that. Islam Shalom, my brother. How are you today? So good to see you. Okay, I guess they didn't want to come up and say nothing, but Islam, shalom to you all. But anyway, I'm going to go into this chapter. I want to read on it. I want to talk about it. I want to get y'all's input on it. See what you think. Like I said, once again, I'm going to talk about I'm going to tell you what it is we're going to speak on today. And this is why I want your feedback. I always want people's feedback because I want to see how everyone else's temperature is with what's going on and how you're feeling right now, checking everyone's mental at this point. So today we are diving into some powerful lessons about staying true to ourselves. So staying true to ourselves and our faith. So not our belief, but our faith. Because faith is, you know what I'm saying? Faith is that surety. It's not something you're guessing or you kind of think that maybe this is what it is. It is really that faith is that surety that you know that you know. And in more science, that faith is that surety that we know that Allah and man are one. And that then it turns into the fruition of you being what you know. Not just saying, hey, I know that I'm a God. And I know that, well, are we being it? Are we applying these things to our life? Because that's what I have to ask myself on a daily. How well am I applying these lessons that the prophet left to my life? How well am I being faithful to myself? So we're going to talk about how easy it is to get caught up in what other people think about you. But the truth is, real strength comes from within. It's about knowing who you are and what you believe and not letting anyone shake it. Not letting nobody shake it. Not letting no one shake nothing you believe. No one. Islam. So how do we do that? You know what I'm saying? How do we stop letting those things come in and manipulate or throw off what we're working on? We're also going to touch on how important it is to be honest and genuine. Flattery might feel good in the moment. It might feel good in the moment, but it doesn't build connections. Let's focus on speaking from the heart and building each other up with sincerity. Because a lot of times we'll be flattering toward people, and we think that flattering energy is going to keep them there and all that, and we'll put on this whole act for them, right? But in all honesty, that's not doing us any good, and it's not being genuine. It's not even being faithful to who you are. Love and light to you too, love and light to you, my brother. It's not being faithful to who we are. And like I said, this now we're on this faith step. We're on this faithful journey that we all are once needing to obtain and wanting to obtain. Okay, I copied it already. So where are you going? Why are you there? Okay, got you. There we go. My apologies. But yes, and we want because we want to feel good within. That's why a lot of times we'll put on flattery for people. We'll flatter people with our words, with our appearance. We'll do these things to get attention, right? But it's only a feel good for the moment. And a lot of us do it, whether male or female. Women do it based on what they'll put on, what they're carrying, what kind of shoes they have on. It's very important to be that outward show thing. And brothers too. Brothers can do it through their cars, their jewelry. That stuff matters. Their clothes, things like that. So a lot of times those are just these feel good moments that are just to flatter others based on to show or floss what you might have. But it don't build real connections. Real connections is when you can see each other at your worst, whether it's your friendships, your relationships, no matter what it is, you can see each other at your worst. You know what I'm saying? But still, it's just such an organic connection. Like it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? You got one limb walking around here, but your energy and your connection and you know, your love and compassion is what makes it. How you doing, Islam, brother? How are you?
Islam, how are you doing? I'm blessed. Yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just on here chopping it up for Sunday. Building on some things to help us get through this next
You know
cycle
who
that
I
we're about
am?
to enter. No. Who's this? I just see a hand with some. So, no, I don't. Who is this? Your voice sounds familiar. You sound like Superman. Is that who it is?
I'm trying to get the camera on, but they won't let me access my camera.
Oh, all right, all right. I think I know who that is. How have you been? It's long. I think I do.
Islam is. Why won't they let me access my camera?
I don't know. TikTok be on some real hating stuff sometimes. TikTok don't be wanting people to do nothing. They be like, hey, now I'm let you
But you know who I am, though, right?
I'm telling you, your voice sounds familiar. I
Does
think.
it sound familiar?
You're from
Do you
Colorado?
remember who I am?
You're from Colorado.
For me?
Yes.
Yes.
That okay. So then yes, I do I
It's
believe
hard.
Islam. So yes, I don't know why it's not letting you. It
Camera
makes.
isn't working, bro. How do I?
What do you need
I'll
to
forget.
do?
It's not letting me. Yeah, I'm trying to hit the camera button, but it's not working.
I don't know what's going on, y'all. But anyway, so this is what we're talking about today. Huh?
NWA.
Yes, I thought so. That's why I said Superman, because you know you always reminded me of Superman. Superman, NWA, yes. How are you, Islam? It's so good to hear your voice. Come through. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the gifts, Islam. I appreciate it. How's everything been going?
I got back on my feet.
Islam, right on. That's what I like to
I got my
hear.
car, I got my vehicle, it's all paid for. I got my job. Not full time, it's to the agency. So now I'm just waiting to move into my own place now.
Look at you. All praises due to Allah. See how amazing. This is a faith walk. This is a journey. And look at that journey. Look at that journey. Divine timing, everything that you've been doing, because you've been faithful. That's what that faithful means. That being faithful to your walk, being faithful to yourself. That's that surety that you know.
Last time we spoke, I was in the shelter.
Yeah.
I got kicked out. So I said, next time I get in touch with them, I gotta tell them my progress. So here I am.
Islam. I feel so. Oh, that's what's up. Islam. Man, much gratitude. Give thanks to everything that you're doing. I'm happy for that.
It's a blessing.
Yes, it is.
How things been?
Things have been, they're going. Life is lifing, but they're good. It's amazing, still walking that journey, still going that journey, walking that path.
It's good to see you still doing it every Sunday and Friday.
Yeah, I don't do it every Sunday and Friday, but I do my best to do it every Sunday and Friday. I got a little lacked off because I got a little discouraged within the movement itself, with the people's energy, we'll say, and so I just kind of stepped away for a moment, but I came back because I love the Prophet. I love everything the Prophet brought for us, because it changed my life, but at the same time, it's also to free everyone, free people from this mental slavery that we're still stuck in. So it's hard to put it down because I love the people so much, and I got so much compassion for the people that I just, I can't walk away from the Prophet and the teachings. And I'll say the prophets and the teachers, because it's been, many prophets. So the prophets and the teachers, but without Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I wouldn't even have dove into the other prophets. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty dope. I'm excited.
How long you gonna be on?
I'll be on for a minute. I'm waiting for my co-host. She should be coming on like in the next 15 minutes. So I'm going to be reading through the chapter and just vibing with the people. So if you got time, come back.
That I will do.
All right. It's good to see you. I'm so glad you're doing well.
You too. I love you, sweetie.
I love you more. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Islam. Yes, so we are going to get into this chapter. While I wait to honor my amazing co-host, Sister Shonda. So I'm coming out of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guiding of his Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God Allah. Islam. So the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 40. Holy instructions from the Prophet, the instability of man. This is one of the foes of man. Man, we can be very unstable. So this is where my inspiration came from for this discussion today, or for this build today. Islam. How are you, Islam? How are you, MST of A, Arkansas Republic? How are you, Sheik?
Islam. I'm well. I hear this chicken coop.
Hey, I know that's right. Keeping it going. I love it. Keep it going. Well, the deer ate most of all of our stuff. Like, it just demolished it because the deer have nowhere to go at this point. So they're just all over the place right now where we live. So
I'd be getting ready to
Put one of them on the table.
Well, we be having well, you know, my family household is vegan, so we don't eat the meat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
we love the animals.
I'm about to come out there and post up.
I have to come post them. I have to come give you a few of them beer.
Yeah, some eat my chicken, so I'm out here trying to figure out where it's coming in.
Oh, really? What do you mean, like a beef?
Raccoon or something. Raccoon.
Wow, them raccoons be treacherous, don't they?
They burglars. They look burglars.
That's why they look like that, huh? With the mask on.
Yeah, I ate four of my chicken this go around.
What? Oh no! Oh, nature ain't playing right now. See, nature like, hey.
So it ate a bunch of our chicken. We had hens, you know what I'm saying? And so I had got some ducks. That's when it started. I had got some ducks. It started eating the ducks. I'm like, dang. Then it started eating the chickens, and we got a pretty big chicken coop, so I'm out here having about a $5 spot. You know what I'm saying? Trying to think like, where could this thing get in?
Oh wow, he's sneaky. All right, yeah, them coons are.
I'm talking about. I come in. They did it in the daytime. We got a dog in the backyard too.
Oh really?
Yeah. So,
wow.
My dad used to say it's hard to catch old coons. They small.
Yeah, they are. They cannot. Yeah, they are very. You know, hey, yeah, they sneaky.
Well, they called us coons, but anyway.
But anyway, right. But anyway, yes, we're getting into the instability of man. So if you got a moment to just like chime in and give your demonstration on it after I read the chapter, I would love to hear your demonstration on the chapter.
I might not be able to be here too long. We got to go to some kind of meeting at this church. I think at 1. Me and my body. So.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, if you hear something that resonates before you go, just like chime in. I would love to hear you. All right, Islam. All right, so the holy instructions from the prophet, the instability of man. Inconstancy is powerful in the heart of man. Intemperance swayeth, whether it will. Despair engrosses much of it, and fear proclaimeth, behold, I sit unraveled therein, but vanity is beyond them all. Weep not, therefore, at the calamities of the human state. Rather, laugh at its follies. In the hands of the man addicted to vanity, life then is but the shadow of a dream. The hero, the most renowned of human character, what is he but the bubble of this weakness? The public is unstable and ungrateful. Why should the man of wisdom endanger himself for fools? I want to stop right there because that one always gets me. You know, when I think about the prophets and the things that they did when they came to deliver the messages to the people to get us out of the condition that we were in at the time, to even get us out of the conditions now. So now to me, the prophet's spirits are using the people as the energy to get the message across, because every time they came to deliver the message, no one would listen. So why would a hero? Because that's what we would look for in a hero. But why would this man of wisdom endanger himself with fools? Why would he? What would be the purpose? Islam? If someone can answer that in the chat, or if the brother wants to say anything, because I know he can't be on here long.
I really do, sis. I'm kind of glad you stopped, because it resonated with me, because I'm out here doing different charitable social duty works. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like two weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago now, I was in the project, and these projects in North Little Rock, and we finna hand out food. We give away food like every week, doing free no-cost market. And so it was an elder lady, her name Miss Hattie. Miss Hattie Hood. I don't know if I told you about that.
Yes, I do remember you was telling me about that. Yes.
What I talking about? So yeah, that really resonated with me. What the prophet said, don't be out here don't put yourself out there for the public. You know what I'm saying? For no food. Don't. He said preserve yourself, and everything else is kind of put yourself out there, throw yourself on the cross type of demonstration. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's true. Like one nobleman is worth 1,000 regular people. You know what I'm saying? Even though we might not see ourselves like that, I know people may have more financial stuff than us, but on a spiritual level, they are poor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so these people out here crazy. I hate to say it. Our people, I love our people, but they killed the prophets. They did. You know what I'm saying? Their spirit is still alive today. And you'll bring a person some positivity, and that negative energy that's on them, if it's an entity or whatever, it'll have a negative reaction. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're doing the exorcism, like we do an exorcism, the energy. And so, and they'll come back later and be like, man, what you told me was right, but they did a whole stress you out or adverse reaction. So that's true. Especially if we not in big numbers, we like public enemy number one out here.
Right. Yes, exactly.
We don't want to really cause a change. If of course America get in the office, some stuff will change. The other groups, they just got the FBAs and I'm not speaking radical.
No, you're not. No.
I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it real because I do get in trouble for speaking radical sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Our Hebrew Israelite brothers, Nation of Islam, they all got a portion.
Yes.
So the prophet gave us a piece of. He gave us the cornerstone, really.
Yes, he did. Gave us the whole thing. He gave us the holy thing. The whole thing. If we're like you were saying though, like I think you were saying that a couple of weeks ago when you were telling me about that. He gave it all to us if we're just able to, really dig deeper into it to see for what it is and not just surface level it. You can see where it really. I mean, all I can say is so free, and that's all I can really say about it. It's very freeing, so you really start to understand. That's why I like to hear others come in and give their, demonstration on it, because there's times I may not really be fully understanding what it is that's being said at that point. So when I hear it come from someone else, it's like, oh wow, all right, now I can look at that differently. Because I don't want to just always look at it from my standpoint, from my point of view, but from other perspectives, to where it lays out more, it gets more meatier. You know what I'm saying? Islam
to everyone on the panel.
Islam
Being brought up here.
Huh?
And I appreciate being brought to the panel.
Oh yes, Islam. No problem. And if you would like to chime in on anything that's being said, just let me know.
Well, I'm not quite sure what this was about. The brother brought me in, and I was trying to review what we're talking about, but I was brought up to the panel. If you don't mind,
yes,
would you share with me what it is that is the topic of discussion?
The topic of discussion is Islam. Go ahead.
What's up, bro? This
Islam.
This one of the balls I really rock with. In the thinking process.
Okay.
The instability, the inconstancy of man.
The instability.
Instability of man. That chapter right there, bro.
Chapter 40.
The Sundays.
I would have to go back and eat that up and then come back.
All right. I mean, that's fine. You want me? I can give you like a little brief summary about where it's coming from, and then you could probably add.
This brother here, I like him because he deal with the national side. We dealing with the divine. They all go together. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, you did. But I'm saying in the public, you be more on the. You know what I'm saying? You be more on the civic side, bro.
I'm trying to show everybody that the Moorish Divine, the national movement, as Noble Gerali presented it to us. He called it the economic security program of the ages. And so I'm trying to use this information not just socially, not
Yes.
just morally, but economically. As
Yes.
our prophet assured us, it would definitely save us. This is the saving power of Islam.
Islam. That's what I'm talking about. See that needing that addition to add on because I've been really more into the instructions and the divine part for so many years because of the teachers I've been under. So I've touched on the civics part, but not as much as probably I should and would really want to. So I'm always open into learning that part.
I'm Gregory Hines on the civic part. I touch on it all the time.
Islam.
It's a balancement, sister. See, that's why the prophet said it's a divine and national movement.
It is.
Divine and that is my yacht. You know what I'm saying? It's
Definitely balanced.
Absolutely.
Prophet bring both of them, so
Yes.
He brought it all together.
Charlie was teaching us how to operate in common law and equity.
Right, exactly. Islam.
Not just common law by itself. Common law by itself can be harsh. It can be feudal. Common law as it pertains to us in this economy talks about legal ownership. And Jurali was showing us that particularly when the Emergency Banking Relief Act came into play in 1933, that was an economic shift out of the legal into the equitable title of the people. The people pledged their legal titles to the state. And so now the state takes on or assumes all the liability. And as long as we act in accordance with the state, right? Because a law and man are one.
Yes.
And to me, all law is the state. So as long as I'm acting in that national statesman authorized capacity, then I can stand as surety for the principle without being the surety myself. Higher and lower self. Absolutely. I am cloaked. My soul is cloaked.
Oh, no, bro. Let the sister, we go.
Right.
No, you good. All right. Now I'm like, oh, okay. Let me get my pen and pad. I wasn't ready. Islam. Islam is.
You're not wrong with that. Anytime we go into a church,
It turns into a temple. Islam.
She can handle it, man. I gotta get the chicken secured.
Where?
Islam. All right, Islam. So I'm on instruction 4 at this time in the instability of man. But I could go and tell you, brother, what I was gonna say. I'll just go over the brief summary of what I wrote down of my speaking points today. And it's basically we're diving into some powerful lessons about staying true to ourselves and our faith. We talk about we're going to talk about how easy it is to get caught up in what other people think, but the truth is real strength comes from within. It's about knowing who you are and what you believe and not letting anyone shake that. We also will touch on how important it is to be honest and genuine. Flattery might feel good in the moment, but it does not build real connections. So let's focus on speaking from the heart and building each other up with sincerity. So that's why I came out of the instability of man today. So now I was on instruction 4, where it states the man who neglected his present concerns to resolve how he will behave when greater, feedeth himself with wind while his bread is eaten by another.
That sounds like somebody standing as surety for another. That's how I like to be.
All right.
That sounds like me trying to be the debtor estate rather than to be the fiduciary over the estate. That's what that sounds like. It's exactly what it is.
Okay.
I know, bro. I know that's good.
Yeah, so we're supposed to look at these lessons with 3 eyes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Socially, morally, and economically.
That's it.
Okay.
People leave out the economic. If they get the economic, they leave out the moral part.
Okay.
Yeah. I've noticed that we have a lot of moral the teachings within the temples, and even outside of the temples. A lot of people, they hang on the morality, and that's cool. That's a beautiful thing. And we even see the social aspect. The brothers and sisters coming together, trying to do things together. But economically, we're being outsourced. Economically, we're not acting as creditors. Most of us are still using the Social Security number in business, which is showing that we're acting from a minority account, which means that we keep adding to the debt, right? And you know me, brother, I teach, and this is for the sister, just to let you know where I stand. I teach that the nationality card that Jurali told us was going to change in our pocket, this is it. The passport. And so I understand that the passport socially, morally, and economically secures me.
All right.
If Allah and man are one.
Right? Yes.
And Allah is the grantor or the creator of value. Economically, man should stand as the creditor.
I'm saying it's debt.
And I understand in accounting, debits equal credits. All right, most of us don't know that. So if a debit equals a credit, and the Emergency Banking Relief Act shifted all liability to the state, then in order for me to secure my debt, secure debt is called credit, right? I must give the debt to the state. I must give the legal title to the state. Here, you take that. Right? Because that's what happened. We shifted from property ownership to equitable ownership. This is why Noble Drew Ali nationalized the trust.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody really understands what nationalizing means, but according to the law dictionary, to nationalize means to give all your property, all of your money, these things back to your government.
Hey, let me chime in, bro.
Yeah.
Let me connect. So when the prophet said we were part and partial, that's the partial part. So the thing, what happened is, and I'm just keeping it written. Well, the temples were really attacked too. A lot of people are talking about how the temples were attacked in the 20s, the late 20s, and the early 30s. Because there's a lot of history that's like more. Even here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, the big lake family, they had Moors had a sawmill and all types of stuff. And so the Europeans was killing them more. You know what I'm saying? And harassing them real bad and doing different things legally to where like the prophet said, he went down and said, "No, you didn't." He came. The prophet was a billionaire. The prophet was dealing with millions of dollars.
Oh, yes.
And lawful money at the time.
Yes.
So
here's the evidence of that right here.
Yes, exactly. The authority. Islam.
This is the secured debt, which is now credit on behalf of the nation.
Islam.
Jurali showing us the temple being a union structure that we are to learn from and then to apply out into the world. That's why out of Sunday school comes
the guidance of the nation. Islam.
The guidance of the nation are not in the temple. They're out in the community. They're aldermen. They're mayors. They are these things in the whole of society. I yield.
Islam. All right, so
we are the sub too, since let me see what I'm trying to. I got to put it together in a dollar bill. Cause really, even dealing with brought something to my attention, and be currently dealing in the public like I am. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't dealing in the public for a long time since I was just dealing with more. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't dealing with I wasn't dealing with any mayors and no auditors and stuff like that. And now I deal with these people daily because I was dealing with the public. So the high, bro, you tell people, you know, to be the highest form of reward, especially for public, is coming in as a board affair again, and being able to like hold the office seat. And righteously guide the public, because the public, they are they asleep, you know what I'm saying? Because our social duty to guide them and be able to meet them where they are, and even more. Because Moore's got the same problem, you know what I'm saying? They got one side, but they don't have the public side. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand what I'm saying about their passport. So now, right? We got visa passports on the Moore side. They travel to the public with that. What was it? That I-9 form you had, bro, the other day?
Yeah, I got that right here.
Bro, so on that I-9 form, and I'm just going off of memory. My memory ain't great. I know in the middle part, it tells you that you need like 2 quote-unquote tribal IDs to equal. Is it still like that in middle section?
You need 2 tribal IDs?
List of acceptable documents.
Yeah.
It says all documents containing, all right, it says the list A, documents that establish both identity and employment authorization. And then list B and C is a combination if you don't have anything on this thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's an I-9. That's something you fill out at any time that you're going to work for someone. I've been a business owner for over 30 years, so I'm very familiar with the different things that you file and different things like that. You know, I am very familiar with those in that sense. Maybe not from the most civic side, but I've also touched on some of the civics in more science also. Not to say none of my teachers didn't, but it's really about getting the instructions and applying them to your life, like living what you talking. It's that, you know, that's great. And I'm going to stick to my morals and my, at all times, sticking to what the prophet taught.
Sister,
so, you know.
If you don't mind me asking,
no, go ahead.
Do you have a passport?
I have my nationality card, though. I do. Yep, I sure do.
Are you able to be employed with your nationality card outside of the temple?
You know, I don't know. I've never tried because I've always worked for myself. I've been a hairstylist for over 32 years, so I've only had my own businesses. So I've never had to really do that.
So I'm asking because
let me tell you this. I wish brother Kalani could come out here because I do know some old boys who know how to use their nationality card paperwork to get a job. It took them a lot. You got a bank account and everything with it. So with that, see, it's different. It's different too. That's why the prophet said this don't come with degree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, see, all of my documents already have my national name on there, free national name on there. Whether it's my driver's license, whatever, everything had already. I had went through that process.
So I asked that question because I desire to state that I've used my passport as the national identification, right?
Okay.
This is what I tell everybody. This is my nation state.
All right.
This is my national identification. Right?
All right. Yep.
So I've begun using the passport in employment, and what it has afforded me is there are no federal withholdings.
All right.
Right. I have sales tax exemption certificate. I have excise tax certificate.
Okay.
I've recently, and I'm gonna just throw this out there for you all. I've recently used my passport. I updated one of my utilities.
Okay.
Remembering that Charlie said, leave all home business as it is. Me looking at the Social Security person as a sole proprietor business for minority, leaving that whole business as it is, and doing all new business in my free national, meaning my passport. What I did was I had them change out my name and social and to put it my name and passport information. Okay. And for 2 months straight, my utility bill has zeroed out. I haven't had to pay.
Wow. All right. It's long. All right.
So then I've done that same thing with another utility bill, and I'm noticing that there's some pushback. But I recognize that if this one utility company, and mind you, I didn't really have to talk to any, everything happened internally, not in the public, but in the Republic, right? I just got right to it.
All right.
Because that information is showing that at least in one utility that it's zeroing out, then it must apply to all of them. Right? So I'm using this passport as a national identification card according to the United States Department of Justice. Remember, we love justice, right?
Islam, yes, we do.
Criminal Resource Manual 1508, Title 18, Section 1028, where it speaks about specifically mentioned identification in the United States. And it states that Title 18 designates 3 special non-federal documents in the absence of a national identity card and gives them preferred treatment. So this is what is literally, there we go. I was trying to find it, right? So this way I can read it to you all right. I even color-coded it for myself.
All right.
But it says, Section 1028 of Title 18 designates 3 special non-federal identification documents and gives them preferred treatment. These 3 documents, in the absence of a national identity card, are the prime means by which an individual, remember, we don't even want to be individuals, but nonetheless, by which an individual establishes his identity in the United States. These 3 documents are the birth certificate, the driver's license, and the personal identification card. And then it goes on. I'm going to brief it because I don't want to take up too much of the time. But it gives it that. Okay. The birth certificate, it says, obviously, birth certificate is not intended to actually identify the person who claims such a document pertains to him. That's the first thing. The driver's license, it says, it was not intended to establish one's identity. But because of the absence of a better document, however, the driver's license eventually has become commonly accepted as the national identity card.
Okay.
And then it says the personal ID, which is the local ID that you get from a DMV. It's not even government.
Right.
It's local government. It's NGO government.
All right.
It's department. There you go.
Right. It's a business. It's a business.
Right. It says that the personal identification card it says this document is normally issued by state departments of motor vehicles to provide an identification document for those persons who do not, for some reason, obtain a driver's license. And so we see that the birth certificate, the driver's license, and what they call the state ID, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are what are used in the absence of a national identity card. When we look at the I-9 form, list A lists your first, all you need is that passport, right, for identification.
Yes.
The birth certificate is connected to what? The social.
The social.
The driver's license is connected to what? The social. The personal state ID connected to what? The social. The passport connected to the social. What's the difference between the passport and these other 3 is that the passport has its own number.
Oh, okay.
So those 3 documents, right, those are whole business. Those are the minor accounts. These are debtor accounts. So they only create more debt.
All right.
I have a card that has secured the debt. It's predicated on it.
Okay.
But it operates from a different account.
So I'm establishing debit or credit. I have a balanced ledger.
That's
That's why I teach that the national identity card that Drew Ali is speaking of, what he says in his statements, your nationality card is going to change on you in your
pocket. Okay.
That's why I state this. I believe wholeheartedly. It ain't even belief. It ain't even faith no more. But just to be,
Well, faith is a surety. Faith is surety. Belief is perhaps what man thinks is the truth.
Contradiction, though, right?
So check it. And it's like through, bro.
Huh?
I'm saying with the brother finished.
I guess you can say I was finished, brother. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now again, I really gotta tie this in all together and bring it back home. Bring it back home, please. The first thing that they did when he was talking about the absence of a national ID card.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would be that national ID card that saying that is absent? Because the prophet did say also. Now we're dealing with the matrix. Now all of this stuff is in the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
All this is in the matrix. It's in the bubble.
Right.
The prophet said that I would you more like to have your own bears, all so on and so forth. So this is demonstrating the dollar bill where we got the eagle. How the brother was talking about the common law and all of that stuff. That's the eagle. Then you got the pyramid, which is on land expressing equity with the seven and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to demonstrate as noblemen on the land. We have to demonstrate both of them in some capacity. That's really what he was saying. So we would have the temple should be able to do, and it can. This is the part I want to talk about. Because in chapter 46 is where I think it's around in chapter verse 14. The prophet said that these laws. Yes, go to that right quick.
I got you. Chapter 46.
Yeah, is it 46? He's the capital division.
No, that's 47.
Okay. 47.
Which one? Where did you want me to go? These laws? 14 or 13?
We do 13.
Okay, these laws are strict Islam. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 47, instruction 13. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of the temples of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. They will learn to open their meetings and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. 14. Every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and create their own laws and customs. In conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Temple, I, the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, was sent by the great God Allah to warn all Asiatics of America to repent from their sinful ways before that great and lawful day, which is sure to come. Islam?
So, with that being said, the prophet said that the laws, those trust laws, that's the trust. He gave us instructions of what we're supposed to do. He even talked about equity and all of that. I think that's another message. He mentioned
those 5 principles are equitable maxims, brother. So you're right.
He say equity, he say sovereignty in the Quran. Because you know how had teachers say we don't deal with no sovereignty. Man, the prophet talking about it's word verbatim.
The word sovereign was already used in chapter 20. I think 25, 6. It's definitely magistrate and subject.
Magistrate and subject, you're right.
Right. When he says,
he talk about the trust and the whole.
Right. O favorite of heaven, whom thy equals have considered to raise up as sovereign authority over them, something to that effect. Like, we already have that, and we know that
you have sovereign power.
Laws, it's sovereign authority. That's what it is in the law dictionary.
We're a sovereign nation.
Right.
You can't be a sovereign person. You're a sovereign nation. Right. Not as a person. Not this. Yes. Or what? Yes.
Sovereignty is through the authority of the state. The people who have come together as a constituent member body politic Without them, I'm nothing.
See, we got the public and we got the republic and more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the temple, we supposed to be carrying the temple in one hand and the public in the other hand. You know what I'm saying? We Neo. We supposed to be Neo. But then what that sister showed in that movie, Sister Sophia, that was her name.
Sophia Stewart. Sophia Stewart. Her name is Sophia Stewart. She's over the records. She's over the records. She over the records. Islam. 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 It does. Islam.
In the movie, when Neo and them was on the ship, they was in raggedy clothes, eating gruel. You know what I'm saying? They was looking real poor and busted, man. And then when they jacked into the Matrix, they all cool and shiny and stuff like that. So that metaphor is so cold. Now look at the state of the temple, bro. No, the temple's raggedy.
The issue with the temple today is that the temple is not, and I'm not saying.
I'm a grand sheik now too. Now,
I know you are, beloved. That's why
you can talk about it. Don't get too crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a lack of unity, and unity is law. You know what I'm saying?
Islam.
And so, yeah, unity deals with tendencies of a state. It's not. That's a banking term as well. It's in the law dictionary, legal dictionary. So it's law that we deal with each other. It's law that we carry out just as the foundation. The temple is like the foundation. If you build a house, you know what I'm saying? It's like the foundation of the frame. Probably said for us to go out here and if you an LR Bay, you know what I'm saying, you claim to be a part of this structure. To go and you can form your own laws in accordance with the laws that you brought. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be connected to the 1010 5905. And so what has happened is the public has grown so much. The public has grown expeditiously compared to the temple.
All right.
The public has got completely out of hand. You know what I'm saying? Because
the temple was just supposed to be the school anyway. It's not the government.
That's right. It's the school.
It's not the state itself. It's showing the people that the way that the state operates, every business operates the same.
Islam, yeah.
The temple structure is a state union structure. So he was showing us how to live in a state. Yes, absolutely. Like I'm a Muslim of the Pennsylvania nation. There are Christians in the Pennsylvania nation. I'm a nation within a nation.
Exactly.
But we're all one nation because all citizens of a free national government, according to their free national constitution, are all one family bearing one free national name. Our free national name. I am a Pennsylvanian Muslim American. I'm a Pennsylvanian American of Muslim, of Moorish bloodline, and American through Pennsylvania birthright citizenship.
Islam.
By me being born here don't make me from here, so I've declared, I've made it known.
That's it.
Right? I made it known through BS11.
So are you saying, so let me ask this question.
Let me say this right here too, bro. This is where the part that's being greatly overlooked with a lot of us, because we didn't, the ceremony of you going through a Moorish Zion Temple of America was not done correctly. When we come into a Moorish Zion Temple of America, that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Because since read your nationality card, you got it on.
Me, yep, I do.
This is a proclamation. The Bible says proclaim your nationality. I declare you a Muslim and like you said, we honor our divine prophet, Jesus Muhammad. He put us in all the trust.
So it says Islam unity.
Quick question, right?
Yeah.
This is a card, right?
And
it says nationality on it, right?
I can't see.
Yeah,
it's blurry.
Right. I'm trying to
Oh
So
no,
it
I can't
says
see it. But...
nationality up here, right?
Oh, okay.
USA. And then it tells you that my birthplace is Pennsylvania,
Okay.
USA. So my nationality is American, and my citizenship comes from Pennsylvania. This is my national citizenship, perfected temple of man.
Okay.
This is my Emmanuel, right?
Islam.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Brother.
Do you want me to read?
What I'm saying is, what that is accompanied to is we supposed, which we do. Some in some organizations, boards do have cards that's up to that standard. When you have a card, because I just talked to a sister the other day, I was like, you was able to fly with the we call it Visa passport. I just didn't get the card part. I got the paper card, bro, and I ain't even plugged you with the board that's doing that. They got cards that's up to snuff, looking just like that with the holographic paper.
Most likely, people are creating their own states.
Which you can do that. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, you can do that. But Charlie wasn't telling us to do that. That's not to spite anybody.
I think he was, bro.
I don't think that Charlie was telling us to create a new state because he told us that his mission was to save us and to bring us back in. Why would we be making something new if he's telling us that we're supposed to go back in?
Yeah.
If we're going back in, that means that whatever we're going to do
is
already there.
It's already the prophet. I'm finna answer that. The day that the prophet draped that flag over the brother and the sister, and he held up the Constitution of Bible.
Yeah, so Charlie gave us. He gave us.
Today I make y'all.
He gave us ecclesiastical trust authority with the Moorish flag, because the Moorish flag is not the Moroccan flag.
No, we know
and
that.
then he draped someone else. He draped his sister with the American flag representing all 50 states.
Yeah, but the American flag doesn't just represent that. The American flag also represents the upper, lower, the crowns, the different crowns. That's what that American flag really represents. Those 50 stars just represent the 50 so-called wars they so-called won, but not necessarily that is still our flag. They're both ours, the Moorish flag and that. Islam. I have someone, hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. I do have a sheik. I would like him to expound upon that if he does come up here. I would like him to expound upon that because I feel where you guys are going and y'all giving great information because this is some of the stuff you're talking about, Brother David Seal. I'm like, wow, okay, come on, teach me that. But I would like for if he's heard anything that's been going on. This is Sheik Brother Pennington Bay. How are you today, Islam?
Yeah, Islam. I'm well. How y'all doing?
We good. Have you heard the bill that we're building on as far as the nationality card and what did you say, the national ID and how all of that works? Have you been listening at all?
No, I just even came on TikTok and I seen you was live, so I just clicked on to check you out. As soon as I clicked on it, you invited me on the stage. I don't know what y'all talking about right now.
There are no strange happening shit.
I promise you, long covers all events. It's long. But go okay.
All I'm saying, y'all, is that the temple and the other, the private and the public should be going along with each other if it's fair. Now, the prophet said if you have a European president, you should have an Asiatic vice president.
And we've seen that.
You know what I'm saying? Now we have it. We seen in the Matrix. We ain't seen no foreign possession up there with the big.
So you're telling me that Barack Obama's not an Asiatic?
No. That dude mama was European.
Yeah, the child is only as good as the mother is. So the child is.
What is his father? The seed is as good as the father. What was his father?
Nah, what does the prophet say? No.
You're telling me, I just want to make sure I'm clear. You're telling me that nationality came through the mother?
How did you get here?
Through my father?
His mama ain't neither.
See, my father as the grandeur feeded my mother the estate, and I came into it just.
Okay, I can agree.
That's why my law is the father. He's the husband.
Father was not.
This is not to displace
female quality. This is
You can't, because Allah, the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. You can never take that away.
They're one in union.
You can never take that away. Islam. Yes, she. All right, we're gonna allow Sheikh Pennington Bay to speak. Go ahead, Islam. You.
Islam. Okay, I still don't know what the gist of the conversation is, but I want to address what I heard.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the brother MST of A 1928 said that Barack Obama is not an Asiatic. Okay, so that's incorrect. Barack Obama is that. Remember, there's only one race, the human race.
Mm-hmm.
And within the human race, you only have Europeans and Asiatics. That's it. Okay. Now, to that point, the sister Latay May demonstrated the key to the whole Quran when she spoke about Allah, the mother of the universe. Whereas the Holy Quran teaches us this: ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother had given you suck. Now, what that means is we all come from Allah. The Quran says the universal Allah is one, yet he is more than one. So Allah in his totality is both mother and father.
Allah.
All right. Now, when it demonstrate the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life, that speaks to our responsibility to be obedient to Allah's precept. The mother of virtues is the soul, the spirit that's in you. Part of the body, the spirit that's in you. That's that part of Allah. So when we look for Allah the mother in essence truly is within us, just like Allah the Father is. But there's no separation. In the Moorish science of America, there's no separation between church and state. There's no separation between the way we live our physical life and our spiritual life. I want to show y'all something that the Prophet Ali demonstrates in chapter 48 of his Holy Quran. He says that we are returning Christianity to the European because it was founded by their forefathers for their earthly salvation. Okay? Now we got to ask ourselves, we know that the majority of the European people that we know are not good Christians. So how do they receive earthly salvation from this religion? They receive earthly salvation by making us good Christians. See, we become good Christians while we in this world competing as a nation. We're competing against their nation, but see, we good Christians. So what we do? While they cheat, while they connive the law, and do all of the things that they do, we turn the other cheek. So that's how they receiving their earthly salvation, Mo. But there is no such thing as a separate church and state. The private and the public is the same in the Moorish Science Temple of America. Right? It's the same. Now, with that being the case, the truth is a lot of our grand sheiks are failing their membership. Right? They failing their membership. With that being the case, it's not the doctrine, Mo. It's not the doctrine. It's us. We have to come together, and we have to come together as a unit. But in order for that to happen, according to the Quran, chapter number 29, instruction 1, it says, "O thou the favorite of heaven, whom the sons of men thy equals have agreed to raise to sovereign power and set as a ruler over themselves." See, first of all, that equals, there's a standard there. I'm a sheik in the Moorish Science Temple of America. I had to go through things to become a sheik in the Moorish Science Temple of America. So when there's other people who call themselves sheiks, but I know that they haven't went through what I went through, we not equal.
That's right.
So we can't come together and sit down at the table and decide upon what way we're gonna guide our nation because we not equal. First of all, we have to all go through the same thing. We got to close our door like Japan did after the United States of America nuked Japan. Japan went into Japan, closed their door on the rest of the world, and got themselves together. That's what we got to do.
Islam.
We need to stop talking about what we're going to do immediately because we are not prepared to take these steps right now.
Come on,
the first thing we got to do is get ourselves together.
Teach.
We we get ourselves together, because if we was to go out there right now and start competing against established nations, we would lose.
We will lose.
And we will only set ourselves back even further. So we gotta close the doors. We gotta sit down. There's no such thing. Let me tell y'all something. Everybody who's listening know this and understand it. There's no such thing as a self-taught more scientist. There's no such thing.
That's what
the Prophet Noah Ali said. The Prophet Noah Ali said, "Out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation." So if you ain't graduated out of Sunday school with us, now to each individual be your way. I'm not here to violate nobody's space. I'm just talking about the Moorish Science Temple of America. I've been anointed, appointed, and consecrated to do that. So I'm demonstrating as the Moorish Science Temple of America, we have to be taught. The Holy Quran teaches us that even our spirit has to be taught. It says, teach thy spirit to actuate and direct thy flesh. It says, teach it to be attentive to its good. So if my spirit has to learn when it comes straight from Allah, then of course my physical got to learn too.
That's right.
Islam. Now I don't know what the topic is. I know y'all was talking about nationality. So what's
the topic Islam Sheikh? The topic is instability of man. We're coming out of chapter 40. So I was speaking on the instability of man, and just what instruction I was on was instruction 13 and 14. No, I wasn't on that. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. I was on instruction 4. The man who neglected his present concerns to resolve how he will behave when greater feedeth himself with wind while his bread is eaten by another. That's the instruction I was on when I had started. When before you had came on, and they were speaking on the nationality, the national ID. They were showing the different IDs, and he was asking me to read the nationality card. So what's the difference between those two?
Well, for one, a national ID is a construct that came later after the Prophet Noah.
Okay.
That's not to say I'm not saying that it's not necessary, because the truth of the matter is I'm not one of those boys that's gonna say, hey, what the prophet bought. The prophet said that we adopt our own customs. We also see it on the back of our Lord that we are all consecrated to extend the learning, which means that as times change, we're gonna have to change with time.
All right.
So when we say, well, what's the difference between the nationality and identification card is very, very specific about saying that we are one, United States of American citizens, that we are Muslims under the great Quran of Muhammad, and it talks about us, our forefathers. It talks about we honoring all prophets. It identifies us as Moorish Americans, our principles, and what that means. Yeah. Not only to us, but it also identifies that to anybody who would show your nationality card, nationality card too. Now, national identification card is an ID. So this would verify, well, I am this person, this is my age. Just like an ID, when you go somewhere, they want to know if you're old enough to be here. They want to know if you're old enough to drive, something like that. So that's the difference, if you ask me.
All right.
But your only did say that the nationality card that he was dispensing at the time, I believe, if I'm correct, it says something to the effect of, this is your national identification and membership card.
That's right.
This is your nationality and identification card for the Moorish Science Temple of America and birthrights for the Moorish Americans, etc. We honor all divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. May the blessings of the God of our Father Allah be upon you that carry this card. I do hereby declare that you are a Muslim under the divine laws of the Holy Quran of Mecca, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I am a citizen of the USA, Noble Drew Ali, the Prophet, Home Office, Chicago, Illinois.
So I'm making mention of that because all of that is in my nationality card or my nationality book. I have my fez on, I have my title on, I've already sent affidavit along with a declaration, along with my application. Drali told us to answer and apply to the government for citizenship.
Yes.
Right? And so I'm declared a Muslim. I'm declared a Muslim because I have my fez on it and I have my title.
All right. So let me ask you a question. So when I went to obtain my driver's license to renew it, because as I said, I haven't obtained my passport yet, just because for me personally, I'm trying to see what all that's about first. But anyway, when I went, I had on my turban and my pen. It wasn't a problem. So my driver's license, I have on my turban, my pen, my title is there, and everything else.
You exercise your religious right.
Yes, Islam.
You have that religious freedom. Again,
what makes that different?
I have my religious title with L.
Okay.
Right. I wasn't born with my title, but I knew that I could express through affidavit the truth. Right. The truth cannot change. Right. So I let me know, hey, I have the L on the title. When I went and got my picture, I had my fez on. They were like, hey, listen, you can't wear hats. I said, oh, no problem. This isn't a hat. This is religious attire. She was like, oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah, see, they already knew that my turban and my pen was, and I'm from Colorado. She was like, oh, yeah, that's your religious headdress, isn't it? And I said,
right.
yes.
So I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the Moorish community here, if y'all are students of the history, we had T. Crumbie Bay out here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But since T. Crumbie Bay, we have the resurrected temples. This isn't the non-55.
Right? No, you're not knocking no one.
But we had this Moorish Science Temple organization. They're not out here teaching anything to the people. I walked past the Moorish Science Temple of America out here in my youth, not even knowing that's what it was. There's no signs, none of that, right? Damn, I lost my train of thought. I apologize.
Right.
But all in all, we don't have teaching. We don't have the Moorish Science teachings out here. Legitimately. I had to learn. Me personally, I came in 2012. I was following behind what I now will. I'll call them, as I said, sovereign citizen Moors. That's what I didn't know any better. I thought that was the way. I was running around with L-Bays. I was doing all of these things, right? But I understand that I was being prepared. When I finally realized that what I was listening to was not Islam, it was Islam out the mouth, right? But not Islam in deeds and actions, right? That's when I went and I looked for Noble Drew Ali's literature. What did he say? Because everything I'm hearing is a portion of what he said. No one was ever giving me the sources of reference to look for. Where did he say, right? When I found what we call the Moorish literature, which is the 47 newspaper articles, right? That's when I found my prophet. And it is from that information that I was able to, that the way I have demonstrated, that was the way that I was able to profess and proclaim and practice myself as a Muslim, as a Moorish American, as a white North African citizen of the U.S. Absolutely.
That's fine. Go ahead.
White North African citizen of the U.S.
Absolutely. White means a person belonging to any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East,
or North Africa.
Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa prior to 1491 was all under Islamic rule.
Islam.
So it's showing us.
Can we explore the doctrine of the Moorish Science Temple of America a little bit? Sure.
Absolutely.
Will you define the word white?
White
means purity. security means God. God means ruler of the land.
What title does Satan give himself?
God.
Okay, so we have to understand that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is teaching us that there is a man, there's a group of men who call themselves white. They call themselves God.
Are we rulers of the land?
Islam.
Does Drew Ali call us true possessors?
The Prophet Noble Drew Ali calls us guiders of the nation. He say, "Oh, thou
Right,
art
but in our literature,
this is what he said.
ever been mentioned?
Literature, nowhere in the literature.
Nowhere in the literature do we learn that we
Does
are
it say-
possessors of the current Moroccan Empire. That's not in the literature?
No, it doesn't say that anywhere in the doctrine. And it doesn't say that we are rulers of the land. It says that, "Oh, thou who art to rule the nations." It's a big difference. It's a big difference. And the difference is spiritual. Now, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you're not thinking along the right lines. And I'm not here to try to stop you from doing what you're doing. But I was always taught, before we make any move, to consult the prophet. And if the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says,
through his literature.
what title does Satan give himself? I'm never going to give myself that title.
Islam.
It's not something that I'm going to do.
Islam.
There has to be a better way. Now,
So the devil, Satan is the lower self. So Satan would be the minority account. And so the lower self, calling itself God, would be acting in the capacity of like a state ID or driver's license, which has the state. And by the way, I'm only saying this because conceptually, Allah to me is the state. So I just want to qualify that, right? So Satan calling himself God. This is my state ID, supposedly. It says Pennsylvania on there, right? But my true self, that's one with Allah, also has Pennsylvania on it. This is the great God. This is the mature account. This is the creditor account. This is the Muslim. Muslim means creditor, because Islam means equity. So this is the lower self, where Satan calling itself God. That's your local, your district, governing bodies, independent from the whole state, nation state. White means purity, and purity means God. God means ruler of the land. So I'm ruler of the state, is the ruler of the land.
I want to give you some history on it.
It's not the word God. It's in the act of Satan calling himself God. It's not the word God.
And then
Well, no, God is the title, and God means ruler of the land. It means the holder of the land. So legal title.
Hold on. Let's not one speak at a time. One speak at a time, so we can hear. Islam.
As I was saying, what I was saying, it's not the word God. It's in the act of Satan calling himself, naming himself God. You can't give yourself an attribute like this. If you know that every time somebody gives themselves an attribute, it's when Kuba, eagle eye, white eagle, white cloud. Elder might give you a name, eagle, six and bug.
I just know that white means North African and be North African.
And what we doing, you pride. You can't mix the pride particular with the European. Like,
yeah, when you Islam, I just want to tell the Moors, but when you just always consult the prophet. If you look in the Quran, if you look in the literature, the prophet is going to redefine a lot of terms for us. He redefines a lot of terms. He redefines understanding. He redefines wisdom. He redefines no, we're gonna drop that off when we get there. He redefines a lot of terms for us. All right. So when ones look in the dictionary that they looking at and read now, they say, well, white means North African, citizen or something like that. Well, not to Moorish Americans, it don't. To Moorish Americans, white means purity, purity means God, God means the ruler of the land. It's a reason why the prophet Noble Drew Ali is saying this. Remember, he's a prophet. When we think about the prophet, he's prophesizing, he is recognizing that this day is going to come, that people are going to come to start thinking along these lines, and we want to guard ourselves against thinking along these lines, because who are we following? Remember what the prophet Jesus demonstrated that Satan was to be bound in part. So we're talking about a joker who we fight, who got one hand tied behind his back, and he's still kicking our butt.
Yeah.
There's history to the term white man applied to a people, and it comes out of the Masonic Lodge. So in the past, the Masons would call themselves white men, God men, but they did it within their own circle. But after a while, just like so-called sheiks and adepts come out of the adept chambers demonstrating degrees to people that have not shown that they was worthy to have these degrees, Masons did the same thing. So now the whole entire European nation race start calling themselves white. So, but people are crayons, and the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is very, very specific when he tells us what the term white means. Now, I'm gonna say it again. To each be their own way. Islam.
I just wanted to bring up chapter 47. I don't know if we were reading this. Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. Pull that up, sister.
I sure will.
And when you get through it, would you please read verse 6 entirely?
Yes, Islam. Giving honor to the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 47. Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. Instruction 6. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit Northwest Africa. They were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire. With their Canaanite...
Please stop right here. Please stop right there.
You said the full thing, didn't you?
My apologies. Continue. My apologies.
Moroccan Empire with their cat, because we can't chop it. We gonna do the prophet's instructions. We gonna do them fully now. I stand on the prophet. I don't play with him. With their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan, seeking new homes.
Let's say, so again, Grand Sheik, you said that's not in our site. You said that's not even in our literature, brother.
Islam.
I asked you if we are not the true possessors of the Moroccan Empire. You said that's not even in our list.
I stand to be correct.
Islam.
Islam. You know what? And I'm corrected on two fronts, because true wisdom is less presuming than
folly. Islam.
So I was assuming the way you was applying it, and for real, I did the one thing that I shouldn't do, and that was not even pay attention. Islam. I stand to be correct.
Islam, brother.
Islam, Morse.
Islam, brother Bay. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to ask a question, brother from Pennsylvania. Yes. What's your name again, brother? Brother David Sell. Brother David Sell. Okay. Well, I have in my hand here. Well, first of all, let me say this. I rise and praise to Allah. I give honor to Allah's Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to Marcus Garvey. I give honor to each and every one.
Islam.
All right. Also, it's just a couple of things that I wanted to ask you, brother. When you stated that white means a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, North Africa, or the Middle East, that's what you said, brother? That is what I said, absolutely. Okay, now that is from, what you cited is what's called Directive number 15. And it's the race and ethnic standards. Absolutely. And administrative reporting. Absolutely. That's 181.
Okay.
Like Warren Street.
Let him finish.
Okay, and that was issued by the Department of Immigration and Naturalization Services. Now, what Europeans have done, and we don't want to use this term as, excuse me?
Are we about to blame Europeans?
No, I'm going to show you something, brother.
Okay.
I'm going to show you something. Okay. What happens is, we have been victimized in a way. Not only was our nationality stripped from us, they have presumed our nationality. See, they don't have a history. So what they have done was they have put our history on them. That's why they created this term white, and then said that these are white people are a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, North Africa, or the Middle East. Now let's look at that term Middle East. The term Middle East was not created into the 1800s.
That's right.
And they only did that to try to separate that land, what he also called the Levant, which is also Canaan. They tried to separate that from the African continent, thus trying to separate our people from themselves. So now when we look in Genesis chapter 9, it speaks about the so-called curse be Canaan, a servant you should be to your brother. But we know that reading, from our prophet and reading in the Holy Quran, that no prophets sin. So that whole story about Noah, getting drunk, and putting a curse on Canaan, that was a manufactured story. So the thing is, when we look at the history of the Canaanites, we know that the history of the Canaanites shows that the Canaanites were a blessed people. Yeah. So the thing is now, when European or Eurocentric historians saw that the Canaanites were really a blessed people and not a cursed people, that's when they started to manufacture history and say, okay, now the Canaanites are not black people. The Canaanites are white people. And then they insert themselves into that history. So the prophet himself never said that we were white people. He said,
"Will you define white?"
He said, did the prophet say that we were white?
Define white?
White means purity, but the thing is this. You don't ask my question.
Please, brother.
Don't ask my question. I said this. Did the prophet ever declare us
white means purity? Purity means
the prophet ever. Well, I asked the question.
Hold on. See, we can't. This is what we got to stop doing as Moors. We got to stop getting in our emotions because the ego takes over. We got to calm that down because we're here to build with one another. We're here to discuss this and build. No, he's not teaching segregation. You got to listen.
Since you don't want to ask the question, I will ask the question. Since you don't want to ask the question, I will ask the question. Nowhere in these literature, nowhere in our Moorish law, nowhere in our divine constitution and bylaws, nowhere in our district laws, nowhere in our questionnaire, did the prophet Noah instruct us to call ourselves white people. Yeah, nowhere. All right. The prophet said,
you're not black, Negro, and color, so what else can you be?
Excuse me, more.
I said, Shirley said you were not black, Negro, or colored.
Hold on 1 second. Brother Davis. Hold on.
The black status and the white status, right? And both of them have African in them, right? And one is North African, right? And one is a Muslim union all over the world, right? What do you mean, Charlie didn't tell us we were white? If he said you're not black, what else can you be?
I'm a Moorish American. That is my nationality.
All right, Islam, you guys, the Moabites would like to speak, and I need everyone because once the sister speaks, we know we give our respect to our matriarch. So we're going to tone it down 1 second, and I need Sister Kimmy to come up and speak, please.
Thank you, sis.
Islam.
Bless everybody. Peace, Islam. Okay, when I hear you guys talking, I hear you guys saying that it's a status. So we got to keep it in that frame, because if you, as soon as you go towards thinking it's a skin color or something like that, then that's where the confusion comes in. At. It's a status. A status. If black means something being kept in the dark when it comes to business practices, right? That means that you're hiding something, like they do in our system that we have now. They're hiding all of the knowledge, even though you think it's one thing, but it's really something else. So that would be the dark practices, which would be in the dark. They would keep it hidden. White business practice just means it's clean, it's clear. Y'all can see right through all the contracts and stuff like that. So I could see it being like that versus color. So I just wanted to make that point.
It's long. Thank you, sis. Thank you.
Now, if I may continue, can I say something real quick? Real brief.
Yes, go ahead.
The same way the prophet of God defined the word white, he also defined the word black.
Mm-hmm. Islam.
In Islam, he said that black important science is there. So when we look at our one of the most of America, it defines there. This is not a status applicable to human beings, because Islam Ron says that there's no such thing. Yeah.
Right.
So it's not a status. So we as Moorish Americans, even if you say that black and white are statuses, they're not our statuses. Islam is submitting to somebody's law and doctrine.
Islam.
That's somebody else's law. Islam. The law book of the Science Temple of America is called Holy Quran, and the more Science Temple of
Islam.
Yeah. That's all that is. Islam.
And when the prophet is done, he has, opened our eyes, from our perspective. He has not only opened our eyes, he has purified our sight. That's what the prophet Noble Ali did.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I view the prophet Noble Ali, I look at him as, he did something. I look at him as Adam, and I look at him as Abraham in a sense, where as though it said that Adam was the one who built the Kaaba in Mecca, the first holy house of worship, holy house of worship. And I look at the prophet Noble Ali when he built the Moorish Science Temple of America, our holy house of worship.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I see the prophet as Prophet Noble Ali. I know that there's no prophet that's greater or lower than the other. All prophets are the same. But what the prophet did for us, it was like what Adam did. And also, I'm looking at the prophet Abraham. In the Holy Quran, the prophet Abraham called his followers or his children Muslims. But Noble Ali, he named us Muslims.
That's
I don't call myself a Muslim.
No, I'm a Muslim.
I call myself what the prophet called me. The prophet called me a Muslim.
Islam.
So I call and the thing is, so the prophet, he named me. Not only did the prophet give me that name, the prophet, he gave me, he restored my nationality.
Islam.
So he restored my and I've heard a brother, I give this brother honor. I forgot the brother's name, but he said that we did not convert to Islam. We reverted to Islam. Because that is our essential nature. So, now you're going into, who about Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, the mothers and fathers of the human family.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, in the prophet says, that the children of Adam and Eve were Asiatics and Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and then it says, what is the modern name for those angels? It says Asiatics.
Yes.
So now, and I'm looking at now. So we building here. I'm just sharing. What I'm learning. It says, "What is our prophet to us?" It says, "He is an angel of Allah who was sent to bring us the everlasting gospel of Allah." So Noble Ali, he went back to that essential nature of being an angel. That is our nature. So that not only goes into our spiritual heritage, but that goes into our genetic heritage as well. So the thing is, before we met the prophet, we were acting outside of our basic human nature and our basic spiritual nature. Going back, connecting ourselves with Adam and Eve and connecting ourselves with Allah himself. And the thing is, now just be building here, nowhere. And the thing is, and going back to the reverting back, because it's a blessing that I received, a few years ago about the origin of the Moabites. Okay. Now, nowhere in our literature does Noble Ali state that the Moabites are descendants of Lot. Nowhere does he say that. And it was a brother that gave this message. We know that it's something that Noble Ali is reported to have said. He said, "Moors, don't throw away your Bibles because I'm going to use them to condemn the government."
Islam.
That's what he said.
Islam.
Okay? Now, it's a brother that showed me this in Numbers chapter 24, verse 17. Numbers chapter 24, verse 17. When it refers to, it says something to the effect that I shall see him now, but not now. And then it refers to the Moabites as the children of Sheth. It refers to the Moabites as the children. Yes, look it up.
What is it again? Can you give me that? Numbers what?
Numbers chapter 24, verse 17. Numbers chapter 24, verse 17.
Verse 17. All right. You want me to read it?
And it now you have some New Standard translations. They replaced the name Sheth with Tumult.
Oh, this says Sheth.
It says Sheth?
It does.
Okay, good.
It says Numbers 24, 14, verse 17. 17.
Yeah,
excuse me.
24, verse
17.
Verse 17.
I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy all the children of Sheth.
Okay. Now, when you look up, it's Seth and Sheth. They're the same person, but just two different names, two different spellings of the same name. Sheth. When you look, I believe it's Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Sheth is the third son of Adam and Eve.
It's,
Sister Sean.
Let me
Yes.
come in.
Yes.
Seth is actually, I'm gonna say this, and then we get ready to go to Sunday school. Seth is actually the first son of Adam and Eve. Because if you look at it says these are the generations of Adam and Eve. And when you look at that would be Genesis 5.
Genesis 5.
I think you mentioned First Chronicles. First Chronicles, verse 1. They mentioned First Chronicles, verse 1.
If you look at
Seth.
If you look at Genesis, and then look at the genealogy of Jesus in Luke 3. In Luke 3, look at the genealogy of Jesus, and it goes all the way back to Adam. We're finna get ready to school. I wish I could expound on it more, but Cain and Abel was actually just like Genesis 1, right? Genesis 1, Allah created everything. But then when we get to Genesis 2, he said that he had that none of these things was actually in existence because he had not yet created the law. And then everything started to come into creation again. That's where you get Adam and Eve. But remember in Genesis, so Cain and Abel actually is symbolism. They symbolize the higher self and the lower self. So Adam's is actually self. And yes,
Well,
He did.
the word might mean seed of the flock.
Well, I won't just immediately dismiss what you're saying. I won't immediately.
I could go into the Genesis. I want you to
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Islam.
All right, so Islam, thank you, more. All right, so when you look at Genesis chapter 1, I believe it's verse 26. It's stated that Eve says that she had that God has given her a replacement seed, a seed to replace Abel, the one who Cain slew. That's what it says. Right, and we know that Cain, he was not worthy of, he was not worthy of that blessing from Allah. That's why Allah gave her the replacement seed, who was known as Seth. Now, when you go on to read, it says that Seth had a son named Enos, or Enosh. They spell it E-N-O-S or E-N-O-S-H. And then it says, after that, then men began to call upon the name of the Lord. Now, going to chapter 48 of our Most Holy Quran, it says that our ancient forefathers, the Moabites, were the founders of Islam.
Islam, yes, indeed.
And then also in chapter 45, the divine origin of the Asiatic nations, it says that the Moabites were the ancient Moorish, or excuse me, I may be getting that mixed up, are the founders of the holy city of Mecca. So the thing is, when you go into that, it's saying that as a doctrine, the Moabites established Islam. As a doctrine.
Yes.
And now, let's look at this too.
Hold on, before you get too far, I would love my sister Shonda to say something about Genesis, because she is she's really dope with the Bible too. I would like for her to say something before we get too far off. Before you continue, Sister Shonda, can you say something about the children of Adam and Eve? Were you listening to what they were saying? Can you expound upon that?
Okay, I'm here, Sister Tay. Islam.
Yes, I was listening to both the brothers speak. That's the thing with the scriptures. There is so many different layers to it, and so I don't disagree with either perspective, but I definitely know it's esoteric truth to what Brother Pennington was sharing about that second creation and the foreshadowing and the actuality of things. So it's really about how deep you peeling the story apart when you're dealing with those scriptures, because it's not literal. So both things can simultaneously kind of sort of still be true. But we definitely have to account for Cain and Abel not being part of a literal manifestation, because it says that blood was shed when Abel was slew. So slaves, murdered, unalive, whatever the heck the terms.
Right.
Because I think when I was listening to Brother Pennington Bay, he was saying that they weren't really the actual physical manifestations of children that Seth was. But honestly, that's some point that I've always pondered on myself. If it's a physical thing, why, if they were physical, why does the lineage start with Seth? Because we can't just
pretend like they didn't happen, because then we're doing the Christian thing. We're just passing it off as like it didn't happen, just to make our interpretation of the story make sense. So I don't know. That's where I'm at with it, Sister Tay. I don't really have an answer for that.
Okay. Go ahead, Brother Jeffrey Bay. I'm enjoying what you're teaching now. It's very, I'm learning some stuff. I've been in the movement for a while, so I'm not unfamiliar with what's being said. So I know a lot of times we come out here as sisters, and a lot of times I feel like brothers think they can throw things around our heads, but I've been studying enough for myself, personally, to know how to take these instructions.
Islam, and it's like, before I continue, I appreciate sisters so much. I love y'all so much, because I know that sisters, it's something about y'all. Whereas though, y'all spiritual, I guess the word, attuneness, is something, that you are more receptive to spiritual understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Your spiritual understanding than brothers are. It's just something that I'm seeing now, and it's as far as certain things that I've been reading, and and I'm quite sure as we go along, I'll share how I got there.
Uh-huh.
But it's something about, I think that when we look at Islam, and when we look at the Holy Quran, because we don't see, many of us don't see as far as the vine and fig tree.
Mm-hmm.
That everyone has, Noble Ali said, every tongue must confess his own and return to their own.
Mm-hmm.
And every nation must worship under its own vine and fig tree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what has happened since the Prophet Muhammad passed is that it was an Arabian perspective of Islam that has been universalized. Basically saying, if you're gonna worship Allah, you're gonna worship our way. But the Holy Quran does not support that.
Right.
And also, we know that it doesn't support that. Why? Because in the Holy Quran, it shows that, Adam, he followed Islam.
Mm-hmm.
Noah, David, all these people. Before there was, a person called an Arab. Before there wasn't
Mm-hmm.
an Arabian people. Before there was an Arabian language, there was Islam.
Islam.
Now, I'm looking at chapter 5, I believe it's the food, or Surah 5, ayat 3, or chapter 5, verse 3 in the Holy Quran. When Allah goes into the food laws, but then he says, he becomes specific. He says, this day I have perfected for you your religion and chosen for you Islam as a religion. And many of us on the outside looking in, we thinking that he is speaking to the entire humanity.
Mm-hmm.
But if we read in the Holy Quran, Allah could not be speaking to the entire humanity. Why? Since Islam was already in existence before the Arabs were.
Mm-hmm.
So when he says that on this day I have perfected for you your religion and chosen for you Islam as a religion, he is speaking to the Arabian people specifically. No one else. Why? Because Islam was already, in existence. And many people on the outside looking in, they believe that Islam was started with the Prophet Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
But Noble Ali, he makes it clear in our most Holy Quran, specifically in chapter 45, in the last verse in which he states that Muhammad was the founder of the uniting of Islam.
By the command of the great.
Excuse me one moment.
Okay. Islam. That's exactly right what he's saying. It does say the Turks. Number 7, the Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning from Muhammad I, the founder of the uniting of Islam by the command of the great universal God Allah. Also, I want to point out what it also states in our 101s about that. Let's see, we're going to go there. And so we have 101s. There are 101 questions with 101 answers to go, responses to go along with them. So as he was even saying, what is the name of the person whom Jesus was first reincarnated? Prophet Muhammad the Conqueror. Those are not the same people, correct? Excuse me? Huh?
I said I'm listening.
Well, now,
Who's Prophet Muhammad the Conqueror? Mm-hmm.
Now, what was your question?
No, that I said, what's the difference between Prophet Muhammad the Conqueror and the Prophet Muhammad that they speak of in? Hold on. The last of the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 45, in instruction 7. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning from Muhammad I, the founder of the uniting of Islam, by the command of the great universal God Allah. What's the difference between Muhammad I and Muhammad the Conqueror?
Well, excuse me if I'm wrong. I know I'll be corrected. All right. So, my belief at this time is that Prophet Muhammad and Muhammad the Conqueror is the same one. And the reason why I say that is not because the Prophet Muhammad, conquered with a sword,
Gotcha.
to force people into Islam, but
Right.
the hearts of those were conquered by the doctrine. When they have resistance, when they didn't know about it.
Okay.
But once they saw the Prophet Muhammad demonstrating, their hearts were conquered.
Islam.
That's just my interpretation at this time.
No, I like the way you gave that. Islam. So then Muhammad, so when we go over to, when we're talking in chapter 46, the beginning of Christianity, and when we go to instruction 4, it says the European had peace for a long time until Muhammad I came upon the scene and fulfilled the works of Jesus of Nazareth. So what is there a difference between Muhammad the Conqueror, Muhammad the First?
No, according to my understanding.
Oh, no, you did just say that. You said there isn't. My fault. I thought those were two different sayings there. My apologies. Let me retract that. My apologies. All right, I got you. I see what you're saying. All right.
Now there's another Muhammad that was mentioned in 1453 Byzantine. That was the Turk. He was known also as Mehmed II.
Okay, so that's okay. So Islam, I think that's where I was trying to find. So I wasn't looking for. You're right, because I was like, wait, there's 3 different ways they put Muhammad in. Okay, so you're right, Islam. So when it says in question 83, I'll start in question 8 with question 83. It said, when was the head of Satan taken off? 1453 Byzantine, knowing that's an empire. But it says by whom? By Muhammad. So that's who you're speaking of. That's a different.
Yeah, that's a different Muhammad. Yeah,
Got
he was like 700 years after the Prophet Muhammad.
Got you. All right. He was 700 years after Prophet Muhammad. All right.
Exactly.
Got
exactly.
you.
Now it's something that I read. It's a book called The Desert Warrior, and it speaks about Sultan the Sultan that's on page 2.
Oh, Sultan Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud or something. However, I don't know if I'll be saying it right.
Exactly. But this is just my understanding right now, sister.
All right.
This is just my, and maybe you can research this as well. When it says that the Turks
in chapter 45, the last verse. Can you read that?
Okay, chapter 45. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning with Muhammad I, the founder of the uniting of Islam by the command of the great universal God Allah.
Okay, now this is my present understanding of that verse. That the prophet is not using Turks as a nationality name. He is referring to Turki al-Faisal. Turki al-Faisal is the great grandfather or the grandfather of Sultan Ibn Abdul Ibn Saud.
Oh, okay.
So when the prophet says that, so that's a connection to Hagar, going through the Prophet Muhammad, because it said that that this family, the Turki al-Faisal, that they reestablished, they made it safe for pilgrims to come into Mecca. They made it safe, so that in Mecca became prosperous under that family. Start with Turki al-Faisal.
Okay.
So I that just my understanding, my present understanding right now is that the prophet is using Turks as a family name, not a nationality name. He's making reference to Turki al-Faisal, to the family that he established.
Islam. All right.
So and I read this in the way that I came to this conclusion is a book that I didn't, unfortunately I wasn't able to read all of the book, but I read a little bit of the history, and I saw what he done, as far as basically making Mecca safe, and all these things that he was doing for Islam and doing for Muslims there to make sure that it was safe. And it said that they were the chief protectors. The whole city of Mecca. It's essentially the same thing that Prophet Ali stated in chapter 45.
Yeah, there's the chief protectors. Yes. Yeah,
so I don't my present understanding is that he's not, because the Turks, they're not Arabs.
No.
They're Turks.
Yeah, they are.
So that they have a different nationality.
Got you. Interesting.
All right, well,
I'm gonna dig into that more. more.
Please.
Thank you.
Well, I have to go now, sister. Thank you so much for
You're welcome. Thank you for coming in to demonstrate for us too. We really appreciate that.
All right, thank
we
you
learned
so
a
much,
lot.
sister.
All right, peace and love.
All right, peace and love. All right, Islam.
Islam, Sister Shonda, the lady of the hour. I've been waiting on you. Hey.
This was great.
It
motivated me to really get into some studies about some things. So
good. You did get a lot from it. Would you like to expound upon it? Did you read the chapter that we were talking about? Because I really didn't get to finish reading it, but how did you?
The instability of man.
Yeah, the instability of man.
Yes. Now I didn't read that one today. I was listening, following along with y'all. But yes, I have read the instability of man. I love it. What chapter is that?
That is actually chapter 40, because that begins the unfolding of man, the folds of man. Those begins because from chapter 40 to 45, that's the fold of man. Hold on, let me get to it. 45, 40. Is it 40? Unfoldment of man. Hold on, inconstancy is 41. Here's chapter 40. The five folds of man are 40 through 45. So that inconstancy, the instability of man, inconstancy,
I'm on the instability of man. Okay.
The insufficiency of knowledge and misery. Is that our last one? Yep, and then misery. Those are the five folds of man. That's where I feel like that's where we find ourselves the most. when we're unfolding, we can find ourselves the most in those chapters, those 5 chapters. So yeah, I did. I wanted to know what your thought process was on the instability of man. I really wanted you to go in because when I was looking at it, it kind of was going based off of what you were speaking on, even the last time we were building, or even last time we were on the phone speaking of the planets. Like, it just was what it was given was what you were saying, that energy you were talking about.
Yes.
You want me to read? Do you want me to read so you can kind of expound on it, or you feel like it, or you good?
Yeah, no, I pulled it. I got it open. I was just reading through it so I can read it remembrance, but I can read it out loud. You can read it out loud. I guess me sitting here in silence reading it ain't helping.
Yeah, go for it, sis. I'm waiting. I want to hear. Bring that poetry out.
Yes. And first, give honors to Allah, and honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Islam. And constancy is powerful in the heart of man. Intemperance swayeth. It wither, it will. Despair engrosseth much of it. And fear proclaimeth, behold, I sit unraveled within. But vanity is beyond them all. First of all, I put my glasses on.
Okay. Right. He's like,
weep not, therefore, at the calamities of the human state. Rather laugh at his follies. In the hand of man addicted to vanity, life then is but the shadow of a dream. The hero, the most renowned of human character, what is he? But the bubble of weakness. The public is unstable and ungrateful. Why should the man of wisdom endanger himself for fools? The man who neglecteth his present concerns to revolve how he will behave when greater, feedeth himself the wind, while his bread is eaten by another. Mm-hmm. Act as become of thee in thy present station, and in more exalted ones thy face shall not be ashamed. What bindeth the eye, or what hideth the heart of man from himself, like vanity. Lo, when thou seest not thyself, and others discover thee most plainly. As the tulip that is gaudy without smell, conspicuous without use, so is the male who sitteth himself up high and hot, who sitteth himself up high and hot, not married. The heart of the vain is trouble. Why it seemeth content. His cares are greater than his pleasures. No,
you can always stop if you want to expound on something, you know.
You know what? Yeah, like it definitely resonates, like you said. You know, I was caught in the flow of it because it's like, okay, even though I read it, it's like every time it's like a new read, and it's like now I'm paralleling it with what is going on in society. And hold on, let me go find what verse I was on that particular.
Okay.
Weep not, therefore, at the calamities of human state, rather laugh at his follies. In the hand of man addicted to vanity, life then is but the shadow of a dream. The hero, the most renowned human character, what is he but the bubble? What is he but the bubble? The public is unstable and ungrateful. Why should the man of wisdom endanger himself for fools? And this is the prophet just talking about the general state of being of mankind. But to think that right now the public is more unstable than it's ever been in our lifetime and in several lifetimes, and understanding that vanity is what has people not even seeing themselves, the real selves, the real version of themselves. Everybody looking for titles and vanity, and it's just like the condition that we're in. I love too the warning to take heed of the wise, to be out of the way, like don't put yourself, and it's the evidence to me that we're not supposed to be at war with these powers that are going out. It says, weep not therefore at the calamities of the human state, rather laugh at its follies, and it's laugh at the follies of the hand of man addicted to vanity. So that's that duality right there too, is those of us that are going to stay out the way, keep calm, just let these entities play out their role of whatever so be they're going to do in this chaos and this calamity. And this hero complex we all have that is perpetuating the world so strongly now. The hero, the most renowned of human character, what is he but the bubble of his weakness? So I think vanity makes us put ourselves in positions we don't have to be in because we don't see the weakness in the situation. I think it's vanity to think that Allah is going to protect us if we put ourselves in dangerous situations. And that, just saying that part, because I think about, again, all the warriors in training across TikTok making their videos, and the factions of us that instead of having the conversations that we were just having, and I was more so just listening to, of you and the brothers building, that was actually building where I was able to come into the situation and learn some stuff and gave me some stuff to research. You know, find a temple I can get in touch with so that I can go ahead and give me a nationality card, and, you know, light that type of fire in me. But the heroes are out here ready to fight, and we're supposed to be building. The prophet called us to come together and build right now while the rest of this is going on.
Yes.
But,
yes.
Yes, go ahead, Sister Islam.
No, but that's so true. Yes. And, you know, and setting aside our egos, like this is why this time is so important right now. Why things are being exposed. You're being exposed to your true self, to really what is moving you. Are you really just moved by your ego and your emotions? Or can you sit to hear, to listen, and not respond? Because I feel that's where we are so, it becomes so much noise that we can't hear Allah. We can't even hear our brothers and sisters because Allah speaks through man to man. So if Allah is speaking to man through man, we got to learn how to sit still enough to hear.
Yes, absolutely. Islam. And, you know, and just even to go back up with us in this haughtiness that we have, as the scriptures will call it, this pridefulness. We're doing this because we believe we're about to be positioned for greatness, and I'm not saying that we're not. We're doing this because we believe that, you know, the Creator has some special blessing on us, and I'm not saying that we're not. But what the prophet said is, act as become of thee in thy present station.
Come on.
And in more exalted ones, thy face shall not be ashamed. So if we're acting prideful and we're still the underdogs right now, what really are we establishing? What is it really built on? And we're going to build it on the same egotistical mindsets that we have here in this low state. So it's a lot of healing we need to focus on doing too, to, like we said, shed that ego. Clean out the heart. You see the heart just constantly mentioned. What bindeth the eye, or what hideth in the heart, or what hideth the heart of a man from himself. Like vanity. So all this trying to seek after titles and seek after memberships and seek after the new way to present some information instead of sticking. One thing I done learned about from my own journey, I've studied so many things and so many different schools of thoughts. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Like the prophet gave the blueprint. Like the ways that our ancestors already laid out is clear. And they prepared us for exactly what's going on now. So if we just get in the literature, you know, like I said, that's the fire y'all lit up under me today. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, I be in my circle 7, but not as much as I need to. And then I need to be more serious about getting those other literatures, the 101s, and stuff like that, and then just staying in this literature, the Circle 7, because it really matters. It edifies. It keeps the spirit in check. It keeps the mind in check. It keeps the heart in check.
Really
so, like, just reading this Instability of Man just right now, even on this live, like, it got my mind turning and wanting to deal with what the text is telling me.
Yes. Come on now. Deal with what the text is telling us. And what is it? Girl, come on. What is the text telling us? And as you were saying, like, we can't hide from ourselves, y'all. The energy that is going on right now, you are not going to be able to hide from yourself. And it states that. Where did you just read that?
Yes. And you know what? Now when you even say it like that, I remember when I was talking about the planets and I was saying the planet of Pluto and its functionality within astrology is moving in because it's going to strip everybody naked. Yes. Where you're no longer going to be able, your vanity is no longer going to clothe you. And so your vanity is going to oppose you. It's going to strip you naked in front of everybody.
So right there where you spoke, what blinded the eye or what hideth the heart of a man from himself, like vanity. That's a question. Lo, when thou seest not thyself, then others discover thee most plainly. Like she said, strip you naked in front of everybody. So I'd be like, whatever you thought you was hiding, you can't hide. So whatever the videos, you better think about the videos you might have made that might resurface up on your behind. So we all need to be cautious of what we're doing. That's why it ain't good to be all gaudy, conspicuous without use, just like that as the tulip that is gaudy without smell.
Yeah, and we need to be, what's coming in my spirit right now is we need to be a more merciful people because we don't have compassion and mercy on others. We reach degrees of knowledge, which is really nothingness because until it's translated into wisdom. Knowledge is nothingness, and it's not wisdom until you're actualizing it. And if you were really actualizing it, we would have compassion for people who are not at our level of understanding yet.
Islam,
but
definitely.
We sit in position and carry ourselves as though we haven't been in other situations or mindsets before, and so it's sad because we got away from using the word humble because we got to understand that it meant to be lowly. But in this context, I'm going to appropriately use it. And that's why this instability, the fivefold of man. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
I would implore everybody, and speaking to my own self, to really get into this because this next phase of life is going to call be humble, sit down. Like, that's a good thing for what this next phase of this year is going to be like, and as it progresses, because we're talking about how we're going to organize throughout this, and it's going to be very easy because it's our divine birthright and it's the divine timing, but it's also going to be trials within that because, like you said, people going to have to deal with their real selves. But in that, people are going to be humble so that you can actually see yourself. Like, if you ain't being real with your issues you got, they about to be right there waiting for you in every person you see. Like, you got some nasty, egotistical temperament about you. You ain't gonna be able to hold a conversation with people in a minute without that jumping out of you or just getting real aggressive. You gonna yourself be wondering like that. Why did I get that upset? Because you got healing in you need to do.
You still need to do. Let me point something out to you. So yesterday I went to vend at for my friend Ribby. She did an event, so I vended at her spot and sold some stuff, right? So we shared the space with these two other vendors. One vendor, she was selling like hair butter. She was selling body butters and soap. So kind of similar to what Sister Ribby was selling, right? But we had jewelry and all this other stuff there. So the lady that makes the product, amazing woman, very sweet, very, chill, laid back. So the person that came to help her, Sister Shonda, let me tell you, I said, boy, I can tell I've done so much work in myself, baby, because the way she was acting would have stirred up some stuff in me, and I'd have been having a whole attitude the whole time. She was just, it was like she was doing things like, this is how I knew I grew. So I was standing by the door. So it's a market. It's in a farmer's market. It's in a municipal center, right? So there's restaurants, but then there's all these farmers on the inside that sell, like, you get fresh cut up meat, like, you know, your veggies, all that. So it's a market. They got vendors in there. So we're in there. Girl, let me tell you, I'm standing at the door. So when she first walked in, she looked me up and down. So I'm like, cool, okay, whatever. I'm being my normal self. What's up? How you doing? Come in and try our butters or whatever. Girl, here she comes. Hey, welcome in. She get real. She got to come right by the door by me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to let her have this stage. Because, see, right there, if I was not the Latae, I'm telling you, I noticed it when I walked to the back. I said, dang, girl, you done grew up a whole lot. Because, you know, our attitude would have came and you would have felt really, really competitive at this moment, right? Girl, I walked back. I just sat back there. I was standing there. Then people were coming because they was looking for Ruby anyway. Because she's already, you know, has a brand well known. So they already looking. So they coming in. It was just a seven. So then I go back as it slows down. You know, she's grabbing some people. They coming in. I go and sit back. I go sit back on the little stool out there. Here she come again. Girl, this time she reached all the way across me where this lady's standing. And I'm like, how you doing? You know, if you get time, come back in and check out our body treats. She goes, yeah, we got body butters and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I just looked, girl, on the inside, I just started laughing. I was just like, wow. I was like, dang, I was like, go ahead. You know, I just let her do her thing. I ain't say no, I ain't feel no kind of way. But girl, I'm trying to tell you, the demons that was within me before would have been all kind of irritated, all kind of ways. I was going, whoa. I think that's why when you asked me how I was feeling, I was like, amazing. I feel so great. I feel so amazing today because I shocked to myself. It was like, whoa, I was at a point where I was like, man, I done did some healing for real. And I can be honest with myself with that because I know how I can get real competitive on some things if you want to compete, baby. You can't out-hustle me. Oh, you going to try to out-hustle me? Let's go. No, I didn't even do it, sis. It shocked me. Shocked the crap out of me.
Yes. And like now I call myself going the opposite direction and had to catch myself, and it's just the energy out there, you know, absorbing the news, absorbing social media. And then I had to sit and ask myself, like, Shonda, why you getting so upset about these things that's going on in the world? You know, this energy is out there. Don't let it absorb into your being like that. But you know, that's just an area where, okay, you know, you still got some tendencies in here. You need to deal with that because what's going on in the world ain't gonna lighten up. So I'm gonna see a lot of ignorant stuff. I'm gonna see a lot of you know, just as far as what's going on in the world with the media, with some of the racial things building, or the economic things building, or political things building, and it's like we got to be mindful when we absorbing that stuff that we ain't letting it literally integrate into our reality because it's just a stage play.
Yes, that's all it is. It's a big old world, like our brother Kyrie Irving said. This is just a stage play, and it's a bunch of actors, and that's all that we're seeing play out. But it's to take us off our square. It's to take us off of where we need to be. Like you said, the studying, the staying faithful to what we know, and walking in the path that we shall walk, because we was already brought this path, and the prophet left it clearly cut for us to follow him. So there were no mistakes. He wasn't trying to trick us. He wasn't trying to do none of that. So even when I understand that we have this civic part that comes from our moral science, and it's amazing, but the way we demonstrate it is not in a malicious way, in an egotistical way. We demonstrate it with a whole lot of love, a whole lot of compassion. He told us how to demonstrate when we go and proclaim our nationality. He told us what to do. And anything else that comes with it. I do understand about the passport, but I also am like, okay, how does this thing play out? now I'm seeing the passport does look like a straight ID at this point. It's not even just in a book, I don't believe anymore. I believe it's coming on a card or something.
That's what's amazing. And I was much like you. Like, I never saw it after getting a passport because it was, I don't know. And then personally, I have a problem with, that doesn't mean I can't get a passport.
Right.
But when it comes to leaving this country, I have a problem with the vaccines they want to give you to go to
yes.
places.
And I'm not going I'm not doing no vaccines.
Yeah, and it's like, and to my understanding, there is no religious or whatever amnesty. And even if you get up out of here without getting it, how you gonna get back in here if you ain't got it? So, that's my weird concern with it. But, Dad, I was about to say something else and I lost my thought because it was something the brother said that I liked it. Oh, I liked when the brother earlier was demonstrating too when he was talking about his journey in knowledge and self-awareness. And how he got confused with the sovereign crowd at first because I actually, until I met you, I avoided the Moorish American truth because I thought that's what it was too. And I'm looking at that right now. That just sounds a little too wild to me. You know, I ain't gonna call them people wrong, but I looked into it, and when I spent 5 minutes looking into it and decided, like, I ain't doing all of that. So that's really what turned me off of it. And so to come back around and to actually have understanding, it's like a beautiful thing. But I don't know. And I thought, like I said, it was just a dope bill earlier. Like, I wish them brothers would come on more often.
Yes, that was really good, you know, and it's just like I said, I just wish we could be more where we hear each other out. I know everyone wants to make their point, they want to make their stance, they want to speak their truth, but we also got to give each other the space to do such a thing, because I think we get lost and start getting where we're losing where the person is explaining, we're probably saying the same exact thing, most likely the same exact thing is being said, but because you hear something that triggers your emotion, you start to cut it off instead of allowing the person to finish their demonstration or finish what they were saying. And then I think people get offended when they feel like they're not being heard. And it's not that you're not being heard, it's just that give it time so then that the conversation can continue with a flow. That's why the prophet said, go and ask in an intelligent tone. So we have to do things from an intelligent standpoint at all times when it comes to dealing with each other. If we're dealing in the public, the private, with the government, without the government, whatever we're doing, we must deal with one another. And in anything we're dealing with, we must come first with love, because that's our first principle.
Absolutely. Now, what I want to say about those moments when things got a little rough, I love the way you stepped in with that matriarchal love and said, okay, whoa, you know, we going to slow down. I love when you show that matriarchal love and said, okay, the sister wants to speak. You know, we going to be quiet and let the sister have a voice right now because our men have expressed themselves really fully. But just the way you did it was so in love and in order. And then I liked how nobody rebutted you, and it was silence when you brought up the sister. Like, they respected that moment and went with the energy. So I just love that about us.
Yes, Islam, definitely. And that's how we have to be. You know, we got to be the ones, like you said, we step in with this matriarch energy of love anytime we're seeing any kind of discord coming on. Because when the mother speaks, when the matriarch speaks, and I get my brother, I understand, yeah, father is very important. But when we start really breaking down this whole thing about how we all got here, we got to understand we did this on our own at one time. At one time, we did this by ourselves. We was only making girls, but we did it by ourselves. But I'm not discounting the fathers, because I love fathers. I love my father, even though he has transitioned. Still love him, love my bonus dad, like men in general. I love my brothers. So let's not even get that twisted. I love my brothers. But when the mother speaks, when Big Mama speaks, anything from the matriarch speaks, we can allow for peace to be still. We can be like, peace be still, and that peace be still is going to be still, literally.
Period. Yes. Yes.
So, yes.
And yeah, I love our brothers too. And it was like, it was interesting to me when the conversation went into the details about the, the seed of the child. And I'm like, that's just one. I guess we're gonna have to. I like how this brother flipped the statement around. How most people say agree to disagree, and they said no, we just gonna disagree to agree, because it's really at this point in the game we do need both halves.
Yes.
But I don't know, our people just ain't ready for the truth of the matter of really what the female aspect is. But I brought that up to say this, that I think in these divine revelations we're about to have in coming time, is that debate is going to be squashed.
Yeah.
It's going to be squashed real soon, where really what this matriarch is going to be undebatable. What the divine feminine is and was before this patriarchal system took over. And it's not to take anything away from my brothers, but that has to be understood in order for us to be restored as a nation.
Islam.
So
Islam. Okay, I wanna go to 8, because what you were just saying resonates with 8. The heart of the vain is troubled, while it seemeth content. His cares are greater than his pleasures.
Yes. That's pretty much how they got us struggling in this world right now.
Yes. The cares of the world are on the shoulders of so many of us. And those cares are greater than our pleasures.
But that's why I said too, that's why what's going on in America, yes, it is gonna be everything we need it to be. But this humbling moment that I'm speaking of, like, we really need that. It's like, even when the shutdown happened, the 2020 thing happened, the pandemic, we really didn't take that for the break that it should have been for us mentally, emotionally. We were all stressed out about bills. We were all stressed out about this stuff. I mean, they even was shutting evictions down and stuff like that. But people were still caught in the affairs of the world, and even nature started blooming again during the shutdown. So that really tells us that it was a moment of expansion. It really wasn't. Energetically, it was a moment of expansion, even though they had this grand deception going on. But when this next humbling season happens, and there's going to be a lot of layoffs, there's going to be a lot of economic traffic as we make this shift from this fiat currency to this new digital currency. For a minute, it's going to feel rough and like brokenness, because America has to go bankrupt first to reset the system.
Yep.
So that happens. Be easy and enjoy your break. Enjoy your vacation. Look at your family. Love your family. Let's pray that, that Allah has mercy, and that, things occur so that we keep food on the table. And it's really not just it's that mercy and compassion I'm talking about, where we're going to have to feed each other. We're going to really have to be down for each other again. But it's going to be a break from the affairs of the world. And hopefully, during that moment is when we look back to Allah and we take our moment as Moorish Americans to come together and execute these plans we'll be talking about.
Yes, definitely. So when you were saying, dang, you just said something and I wanted to speak on that. Oh man, what did you do? You just said something that was very important. No, it's all right. It's not you. It was me, because it was right there that it went cat. As soon as it hit, it slid away. But it had something to do when you were talking about the cares being on everyone, and us being more patient and compassionate toward one another, because we will need one another. Also with this energy, I was telling my son, because I'm gonna go on off of two things. I was telling my son, one of my sons, I said, please start paying attention to your life force energy. I said, I'm gonna need you to protect it. I said, because men are about to become super hypersexual. Because women aren't really women ain't giving into all that no more. They ain't impressed by none of that nonsense no more. So the eagerness of a man, and if he can't control his life force, if he can't be, how can I say? I don't even know what word I'm really looking for when I say it. But I told him, I said, protect it at all costs. I feel like that's why, like with my sons, they really didn't lose virginity, except the youngest one. They waited till they were older. So I'm trusting by me saying certain things to them. And because they waited, they won't be so hypersexual. I'm trusting. I'm not saying that's going to be, but I'm trusting that they're able to control themselves. Because at this time, women are about to cut it off. Straight slide. Nope. No more. No matter what you say, them sweet persuasions in the ears, none of that. So when you talk about becoming humble, even as sisters, you're going to have to learn how to protect your life force energy too.
Listen to your intuition. I mean, listen to your intuition in a crazy way, and don't let nobody tell you you're crazy. If you walking outside your house and something say turn around and go back in, I don't care if you just turn around and go back in and stand there for a second to try to figure out why you went back in there, and then proceed to make your trip, because that brief second right there could be the interruption to whatever was going to occur. So being heightened intuition, like you said, when we interacting with men that we don't know, and even those that we do know, because it's the energetics is playing out. I was on the phone with two sisters yesterday that was expressing this same desire of like, or this the same expression I'm gonna say of, yeah, I want a husband, but really I ain't on that. I'm not on that, because I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want the intimacy anymore, the lower intimacy. I'm just trying. I don't know if they ban you for saying the word, the intercourse.
Right. That's fine.
They're not desiring that anymore. And so when we hear women becoming lover of themselves in the scriptures, it says because the men engaged in certain behaviors that their women even became lover of themselves. And I think now that I allow my mind to broaden with that concept, it's always repeated as if it's like a homosexual thing that occurs between the women, but I literally think it's higher than that.
Yes,
like on some lower levels it manifested as that, and no judgment, I'm just talking about the higher and lower selves. So anything involving intercourse is always going to be a lower chakra system. So the homosexual, the sexuality of it is the lower self, but on a higher self, we are really becoming lovers of ourselves and lovers of each other. And we're about to execute things the way that it should have been done long ago. Many of us are already building bonds and relationships. And so as this increases in the earth, the men are going to have problems, the ones that are hyper in that way. But I believe like whatever energy your sons or our sons in now, and I think we both have some gratitude to Allah in that area, because my son's not that way either. In fact, he's always talked about having a wife. He's never been the type that was like had this mindset of wanting to be with multiple women, and I appreciate that virtue in him.
Right.
So they're not going to struggle as much with these energetics. It's the men who are actually addicted to it, because some of them are addicts to it and don't even realize it. Like it controls you. Can't be around a woman without thinking about it. Like that's not natural. Our men get taught that is natural. Like, well, you're a man, you're supposed to be attracted to her. Now, if a woman's doing something, I can see nature taking its course, but the mere presence of a woman, like, that shouldn't disturb you in a hyper way.
Islam, it sure shouldn't. It sure shouldn't. You should be able to control, and women, and I gotta tell it to our sisters too. Them too. Control you. Control, like you said, listen to that, but control your actions too. Right now, we need we really do need to humble ourselves even in those areas. Our lower desires, the lower things that we want so bad, and a lot of times that is attached to everything physical. We need to start protecting that. We need to start becoming one with that and falling in love with that. That's that love for self. Women will become lovers of themselves because we are falling in love with ourselves. That self-love is starting to be real for me. I'm like, oh yeah. My self-love is get up in the morning, cleanse my face really well, brush my teeth, do that, come in here, do me some qigong where I release my gallbladder, like do me some things that opens up my chakras, and that's my self-love. Come in here and go to the gym when I'm able to go. That's self-love to me. To me, that's self-love. That's helping my energy within move and get all of my organs moving correctly in the daytime, you know. And now that I'm going back to learning more about that tantric energy again, and not from no sexual level, so don't take it like that, but literally learning so I can even learn for myself how not to become that way, because certain things happened to me through childhood, put me in a very promiscuous state of mind as I got older. So for me, I need to learn to control that. So when I'm speaking of it, y'all, I'm speaking to myself too. Not to say I'm just out here doing nothing, but it's the fact of I need to be more in love with myself before it's given to anyone.
Yeah, this next level of the game is really about, they think they wanted this traditional woman back. It's not going to be traditional in the sense that they wanted it to be, but we're definitely, like you said, all those practices are self-love. And the world have us hustling and bustling right now that most of us in the world can't or feel as though we can't even force the space to have that type of routine. But you really can at some point, you know, even if it's not every single day, choose a portion of your off day. Like for the first 4 hours of my off day, I'm going to focus on self-love. And like I went to go stand on the grass this morning. And as I was standing there just bonding with Mother Earth, I was sitting thinking like, God, they have us moving so materialistically and in such a programmed way that the only time we experience nature is through breath and through wind, because we don't go touch natural sources of water. We don't go stand outside with our shoes off. We don't pay trees attention. It's like we really just walk on the dirt with these big, thick rubber soles on and go in the house. And like, we need to get used to spending more time with nature. Like that is Allah. That's the communication. That's the pattern.
Yes. Getting that prana in the morning. Like you said, just being in tune with it again, not just because it involves working either. Like literally getting in tune with it and enjoying nature, getting out there, laying, breathing in the air, just looking up at the sky. When you were little and you would just lay on the grass and look up and watch this, be thinking that the sky just be turning, or you would spin around and then lay down and watch everything turn. Like, get back to doing those things. Those things helped us. It kept us grounded as children. That's why we were such amazing children in our era, because we went outside, we played outside, whether we took our shoes off to run, whether we, whatever we was doing, playing in the water, just whatever we did, we enjoyed being in nature. We were outside children. We became,
That's why I can't wait. And I hope for it. I hope there is a blackout for a period of time, because it's scary to me, and I've just really been paying attention to the depths of it this last 2 years, how there are never any children outside anymore. When I got out that school bus, I ran in the house to do my homework so I could hurry up and get outside.
Yes.
Even though this is the summer, where are the children at?
Nowhere to be found. They're not like that. Like my children loved being outside. I think that's because their dad was the type that made them go outside when they were young anyway. He'd be like, man, go outside and go get some of the, burn some of that energy off. Take y'all's butt outside and go do whatever, you know. So they were always so used to being that they didn't like, they would be in the house for a moment and they, they play their games, all that, but then they'd be like, hey, Mom, I'm about to go outside. I didn't never have to say take a break. They'd be like, I'm going outside. They go outside, play, ride their bikes, play football, whatever. I used to love it because to me, the best sound in the neighborhood is children outside playing. I feel the most safest when I hear the children chasing each other, throwing stuff, water balloons, just all those fun things we did as a child. Like, we need to get back to that. Get these babies out the house and let them go experience what it is to be a child. Stop thinking that they're just supposed to stay cooped up in one little area all the time. Get them out here. Why don't you experience being a child again? Go roll down the hill. I wish I could find me a good old hill of grass to roll down like when I was little, so I go real fast.
That used to be everything. But see, they gonna come outside again.
Okay.
And talking about that, how we sitting for so much in the house. And it almost will get the illusion that we like solitude.
Yeah.
But we don't know because we're in the house 90% of the time. We're in social media.
Yeah.
So we're really not in solitude. But verse 9 says, his solitude cannot rest with his bones.
Woo.
And that's what happens when your mind is disturbed. And so that's why they're not attracted to nature. And they don't want to, because when you go out to nature, it's just mind and Allah. Sitting in that stillness to sit there, because I know what it feel like. That's why I know what people experience. That's why meditation even seems so hard, because when you sit still and just only deal with the pure essence of source, your mind is turned against you if you ain't ready to face what's going on in there, or you don't know what to do with that information. It'll make you feel anxious. It'll make you want to get up and move. Like, even if I ain't even saying it's necessarily a thing that you're thinking, your brain gonna rebel against that stillness. So when I seen that his solitude cannot rest with his bones, and then it says the grave is not deep enough to hide it. So again, that vanity, that behavior, like, it's gonna be so obvious that nothing, not even your unaliveness, is gonna be able to hide the depths of the things you did not deal with.
Come on now, because there's gonna be a rise this month in unalivings of self, unalivings of self, and you sent me a was it a video or something of someone yesterday, a 27-year-old young man jumping from a building?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's something. Wow.
Yeah,
so
it was. I can't remember where it was though, but it is like, it's that those voices that, and they're literally entities that we have created within our being or within our head, just issues that we have compartmentalized, and those things literally become like entities entangled in your biofield, basically your energetic field that surrounds your body. So those type of thoughts are really about to start driving people crazy, and then they're going to be loud about it, because look, I'm about to say the scripture, the circle 7 goes on to say, he extended his thoughts beyond his being. And they're looking for attention. You beseeketh praise to be paid when he is gone. And it's like, okay, like the brother who, I don't know anybody that's doing, it's like a lot of people are going to have so much shame that they dealing with, and you think, oh, this is going to get their attention. Or whether you're dealing with loneliness, let me go ahead and do this to myself, because this is going to get me the praise or the honor, and it's not going to go that way.
Ooh, girl, come on, let's get it. What? Okay. So even when someone is taking themselves out, he's extending his thoughts beyond his being, correct?
Yes, indeed.
Girl, that's a deep one right there. This one got me kind of, I'm like right here stuck right now. Like, what? Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Like,
wait. Go ahead.
And so it's like, when I look at the chapter 9, the instability of man, but then as I'm reading it, it's doing a lot of highlighting the workings of vanity. And so is the instability of man just totally driven by our own vanity?
Yes. I would say so. I would say from my understanding of the chapter, yes. Islam, Sister Sakina, how you doing? Islam, sis. Did you hear the question?
No, ma'am.
How do you feel do you feel chapter 40 specifically? Wait, what did you say, Sister Shonda? Say it one more time because I don't want to say it wrong.
With the chapter being titled The Instability of Man, but throughout the reading of the chapter, it consistently highlights how the conspicuous ways that vanity moves. So would you say that vanity is the causality of the instability of man? Is that the root cause of man's instability? Most definitely it is.
Islam.
I can't even add anything else to that. It is what it is.
Islam. Okay. I love that. I love that you even came up to say that because I love that Sister Shonda brought that out because that's very true. Yes. Vanity is the reason for our instability because we can become vain. Just like I was telling you about how I knew I grew from, I could have really acted out with that lady yesterday, but I didn't. And that was good because I was like, wow, that showed me I have more confidence in myself also because I feel like being in that competitive mode made me less confident in myself because I felt like I got something to prove.
Now, this is on topic, but kind of off topic where, as I was reading this too, and I'm looking at the highlighting of vanity and the praise that man seek. I've always looked at Hollywood, and I mean, I had this thought at the earliest of ages. It's like something's wrong with being famous. Like it corrupts a man. Like, and I'm just asking myself over the years, like, what is wrong with this? And like, we have the internet now, and it's great because we get information out. But on the grand scheme of things, it's almost like being famous or being what we call the celebrities, which is why also on top of the cosmic crimes they done committed, another reason that they're about to go through a lot of the transitions into the upper room that they're about, or the lower room, wherever they're going, that they're going to go through is because vanity has corrupted them in such obscene ways. Those who weren't part of the program, just some that got swept up into it because they really were seeking fame. Because to have so many people praise them is almost a snare to just have to be caught in this level of instability. And like when they say his solitude cannot rest, within his bones, but great. That's why we look at people and we like, they're billionaires. Why did they kill themselves? Because what was going on in that heart, it was still trouble.
Yes.
And just even on a smaller scale, as we even on the internet and we trying to build our channels, note to self or whoever, to be mindful of the type of attention we're seeking. What are you really trying? It's not that even like when we're doing these things and operating in our gifts, we have to make sure to direct the praise always to Allah, because the minute that you absorb it into self, it's a pitfall. And I think for us regular non-celebrities, we operate in that energy sometimes on our social media accounts, just being attention seeking.
Islam. Yes, I can agree because I'm telling you, I used to look for validation on social media, especially in that hair game, entertainment-wise, validation all day long. Then I start saying, why do I have to feel like I need to be validated by these people? That's when the healing started. That's when my healing journey really started.
Out here, I noticed that they will throw their kids out at 18 out here, and not give a fuck.
All right. I don't know what happened. Islam. That's one of my family members right there, but I don't know what was going on. So it was a real deep conversation, but all right.
But that's another thing that need to change about our culture, is throwing our kids out at 18 since that's
that came up.
As we build, raise children, be accountable parents, and then raise children that we want to deal with beyond the age of 18. So that's another part of building and rebuilding our family structure, because we never used to do that. It wasn't a thing, you know. We raised children up to get them prepared for the world, and then we helped them transition into that world. We didn't just say, hey, you 18, get out.
Yeah, that's real. I don't think we should do that either. But that's where, like you said, that's that we get so caught up in this materialistic world that we're like, oh yeah, they should go out and do this and go out and do that. Then we're giving praises to more of the material things that they obtain than the I can't find no words today. That's a shame. I know what I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm saying. Never mind. I lost the thought again.
Oh, it's okay, sis. It's long. But yeah, and then I like as the text is transitioning down, you know, my eyes just jumped onto 11, and that not seeking praise. Just do well whilst thou livest, but regard not what is said of it. Content thyself with deserving praise, and thy posterity shall rejoice in hearing it. Like, don't seek the praise. Just do what you do. Just operate in your gifts. As the butterfly who seeth not his own colors, as the jasmine which filleth not the scent, it casteth around. So is the man who appears gay and happy, and biddeth others to take note of it. So, like, just be natural in your element.
You don't have to put on, more or less. You don't have to be seen. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room. Like, you don't have to be none of that. Just be you organically. That's it, right? Is that what you're more or less telling us?
Yes.
Okay. I love that. How you feel about that, Sister Sakina? I love how that's being brought out, though. How you feel?
I really wasn't paying attention, to be honest.
Oh, you wasn't? All right. Well, that's all right.
I apologize.
It's all right. But I do love that you brought that out. That we should be that. Like, you are deserving of praise for the work you do. But be happy within yourself, because man should be happiest when he toils anyway. We should be the happiest when we toil anyway. So to look for it and think that that's what's gonna make us happy because somebody notices what we're doing. No, not at all. It's just to stroke your ego. It's just that's still that vanity, as you said, we're dealing with. It's still the vanity within self. So,
And looking at verse 17, I love it. It says, the heart of man cannot attend at once to too many things. That's what I say, all praises go to Allah. He who fixes his soul on show loseth reality. He pursueth bubbles which break in their flight, while he treads to earth what would him honor. While he treads to earth, what would him honor? Why is that reading weird?
It might be a mistype. I'm not. All the Qurans, they got mistypes, misspellings. It might not have went that way. It might have went that way. Not sure.
Okay. While he treads the earth, what would honor him is probably how she reads. While he treads to earth, what would honor him? And even in the Bible, Proverbs and Ecclesiastes speaks a lot about vanity. and how the pursuit of worldly measures causes so much instability in man, and that the only thing worthy of doing is again to praise the Creator. King Solomon noted as the richest man, the wisest king, and so forth. And he's attributed to the book of Ecclesiastes, and he says at the end of there, like, I've basically experienced everything a human can experience under the sun. And I find that there is only peace in one thing, and that is to live your life for the Lord, for God, for the Creator.
Okay. It's long. It's long. I want to go and read. I do, like the brother reminded today. The prophet said, "Do not throw your Bibles away," because he was going to use it to correct some things, And the more that we go through these studies and the more that things are unfolding, so true. Like, it's so true that you reach back, even though we know it's been tainted with so much. We as Moorish scientists, that's why we're Moorish scientists. We should be able to pull out the truth. We should be able to decipher truth from falsehood. The more that we're studying ourselves, the more that we're able to unfold these degrees, whether it's coming out of the Quran of Mecca, whether it's coming out of the Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Bible, the Torah, whatever, we should be able to do that. Islam?
Yes, Islam. Also, I found it interesting when the brother was speaking